In the hollow where the shadows fall, we gather round, we hear the call. Liquid fire from the mountain's hand burns like truth, but it tastes like sand. Oh, it sure feels right at the end of the day. Drink it up, let the story stay. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. The air so thick it hums and sings, a slow dance wrapped in unseen strings, clear as glass, but it bites like a snake, sharp and cold, every breath we take. Oh, the stars know our sins tonight. Sit that burn till the world spins right. The creek laughs low, the fire cracks loud. We lose ourselves in a moonlit crowd. The mountain whispers secrets deep, the kind you tell.
Kind of helps if you put your camera on, Joe. Good morning. Happy Saturday, 1st of March here. Far out. 1st of March. Where is the year going? I think it's gone. Oh, God, Christmas popped into my head. Stop! Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Me. As a collective. Going to do a couple of different things today. I've got a bit of a fun task that I thought we could all do. Because I'll just have to wait for a few more people to come in. But I've just about finished the new Discord server for Appalachian Dreamers. So, yeah, the Easter eggs come out straight after Christmas. I don't know about you guys, but they definitely come out straight after Christmas here. And I do like a good hot cross bun. Next time you stay in the yes, I don't tend to go down to the supermarket. I prefer to order online. That's just me. I don't like crowds. I don't like people. And, I can delete people that argue with me on the internet. Just saying. Well, I had a few things teed up this morning, and I haven't heard back from anybody, so that's all right. We'll play it by ear. I've got plenty to do. Got plenty to share. I was hoping to go through some of the laws in Kentucky as well about sexual assault, basically, what to expect, what law enforcement is supposed to do legally, like as far as documentation and stuff goes, all sorts of things. And Kentucky actually has this huge, it's called the Kentucky Sex Laws Manual. So I have included that in the description box. And I have also included a link to a form, basically because if you haven't, if this is your first time here, we are covering the Mickey Steins and Judge Mullins shooting in Letcher County, but we're also extending that to all of the survivors and victims from that are subsequently coming forward from that occurrence, and the actual case that got us here pretty much, which is the Sabrina Atkins Ben Fields case. It's a civil suit. The criminal trial has already been pled guilty to quite a number of sexual charges. And he served a cushy 6 months in the Letcher County Jail as a trustee with a nice TV, people delivering pizzas to him, and his wife able to visit him every day because she works there, so not like it was a conflict of interest for him to be there, but yeah, well, that's what hell I. Yeah, it's frustrating because that was a 5 to 7 year sentence attached to the charges that he had, and escaped. So Sabrina's civil case. So that was what the lead up to Mickey actually unaliving the judge with 9 bullets at close range. Because Mickey had been deposed for this particular trial 3 days prior. So that's how it all ties in. But since that time, many, many women have come forward, not all of them publicly. The first one being Tyre Adams. And her and her friend Brandy have pretty much become like the central hub, like the advocates for the victims almost, so to speak. Some survivors, I should say. I don't like that word. So what I have done in the background has been trying to create they wanted somewhere to have a centralized resource center for the community, basically, but they also wanted it to be autonomous. They wanted it to be private. They didn't want to have anyone else that was accessible to this particular resource center. They wanted it to be a safe space where everyone could go and speak freely and know that everyone in there had been personally approved by both of them and vetted to identify that. Hey, Simi, how you going, sweetheart? So that's what I've been doing in the background, as well as a million other things. We had a shit show last night after I got off stream. It was at the end of the stream. I got a message from Sabrina saying that the trial was postponed until May. So I quickly got on the phone to Lee, let him know. About an hour later, I got a message going, "It's okay. The judge didn't grant the continuance, so it's back on." And Lee, massive panic because he cancelled all of his flights. Yeah, so that was funny. He's managed to get back in there, and he will be arriving Sunday, the 2nd, in London, Kentucky. So he is open for interviews and questions, chitty chats, documents, whatever you'd like to provide. He will be there from Sunday the 2nd all through the trial. So the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th of March are the days dedicated for the trial. I'm assuming that Monday will be jury selection. Just guessing. Because it's Tuesday that they start, but they've only allocated 4 days. And it is believed that Mickey has been subpoenaed for this trial, and it is believed that he will be testifying. That's the rumour mill. We shall wait and see, because Lee will be there, boots on the ground, reporting live from there whenever he can, pretty much, which is fucking shit hot. Now, the other thing is, we're trying to garner as much interest as we can with anyone in the community who has suffered or knows someone who's suffered or has felt that they have been mistreated by someone in power, by anyone really. But Sabrina has fought this fight for 5 years on her own, pretty much. And anyone who lives in Letcher County knows how dangerous that can actually be. She has lost one of the co-defendants, miraculously passed away before this trial. So she has her supportive son with her, and we are trying to garner as much support for her as we can. So if you are able to attend at any time in, a stand of solidarity for Sabrina and for the change, this could be the pivotal linchpin that actually perpetuates some kind of change. That's what we're hoping for anyway. So we want to try and gain as much awareness as we can. So if you do go down there to London, Kentucky, the court case starts at 8:30 on Tuesday the 3rd. It's very small, and we ask you if you can all wear purple, because that's Brenda's favourite colour. That's what she picked. So hence. So yes, at least then she will know, even if she doesn't know you, if she sees you in purple, she'll know that you're there for her. And it's a big fuck you, Kentucky, as well. Like, if you all turn up down there to all these bastards that have been oppressing you for so fucking long and just go, fuck you, fuck you. I'm so pissed off I can't be there. So pissed off. Never mind. So yes, been doing, and I haven't actually shown this to Tyre or Brandy yet. They've been very, actually Brandy went up to see Tyre yesterday, so Tyre's not been well. She did pop in on the channel yesterday, just briefly in the car, and then we lost her because Tyre lives up. Whoop whoop. Alrighty, so yes, all right, I'll do the server name. Okay, so the first one. I was playing with words, all right? You know me. I've got to do something cheeky. So we have here Discord server names. So the first one I came up with was Appalachian Support Services. Yeah? Us. The next one I came up with was oops. Safe Haven Education. She. The next one I came up with was Kentucky. Yes, I'm a one-finger typer. Sorry, especially when I'm holding a bit of paper. Kentucky Independent. I need your glasses. Support Services. Yes. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? The next one was virtual. And grounded. Intensive. Network. Agency. Yep, that's it. Yep. The next one I came up with was yes, there's more. Where is it? Common. United. I've lost it. Where is it? Come on, United. Networking tips. Yep. I like that one. And the next one. There was a couple. There was two. But I couldn't think of anything for the H at the start. Where did I put it? There was two. So the first one I liked was virtual online interactive. Oops, excuse me. Yes, that's it. Thank you. Interactive community. I hate it when I lose my voice. Community education. I wanted to try and actually do a play on words just so that it was easier for everyone to read, to remember. What do you reckon? Voice. Anyone got any other suggestions that they think might be nice? I actually don't mind because I think voice, it means quite a few things for me anyway. Like just it gives them a voice. They get to be heard. You know, a few different. My back's fucking. All right. Let's have a look. I'll put it to the vote. Yeah. No, Tanya, no, bad girl. The other one I had was the synonym of home, but I really couldn't think of anything. I came up with a house of magical endings. No, it was shit. So yeah, if you can think of anything that might go with either of those two, help, heal, house. I don't know. It could be valuable online interactive county education. There we go. That was another one I found. My brain just goes like 10 to the dozen when when someone asks me to do something, and I just go, what was it? Valuable. Online interactive county education. Should have put that in the poll. Education. What are we thinking? A or B? A or B? Which one rolls off the tongue better? Virtual online interactive community education or valuable online, could be county as well. Valuable online interactive county education. Or we could go back with virtual grounded intensive network agency. I know I'm an idiot. And I can't type for shit. Alrighty. I'll save that one. Yeah, with B, you reckon? Valuable online interactive county education. Because it's for the entire community. They can build upon, like I'll put the foundation stuff in there, just some basic links and local services, and they can then add to that and build it, and it can be a nice safe space where they can actually have their own private chats amongst themselves, share their stories without any fear of anyone trying to judge, buy, insult, whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased. It's just about done. I've just got to put the bots in now. Put the bots in. All right. I'll share that with Miss Tyre and Miss Brandy. Where's my phone? Oh, it's there, right in front of me. I no doubt still probably asleep. Right. Oh, speaking of the devil, I spoke too soon. Oh, where'd she go? Hang on. Hang on. What have I done? Hello, my darling.
Hello.
I spoke too soon. I just said you guys are probably still asleep.
No,
Did you see what I was doing?
no, I clicked, I said, oh gosh, and then I ran. So
I was just saying I've nearly finished the Discord server. I've just got to put the bots in it now, which will then link to your YouTube channel. So every live stream you do, it will go directly to the Discord server as well.
oh, okay.
It's nearly done. Yes, I did summon her, Simi. I did. How's your back been? Has it been sore?
Traveling yesterday kind of done me
Yeah.
in, so I'm kind of taking it easy today. I'm gonna be a little lazy.
I must say I spent most of the day lying because my legs were so swollen from sitting here.
You have put a ton of work in the past few days, so
Did you hear what happened after? Oh, yes, I did tell you. Yes. Well, it's back on again.
well, I was gonna message you back. That kind of surprised me. Usually if they move a date, it kind of sticks,
Yeah.
So I kind of wondered.
I think she may have jumped the gun. I think they had put in a motion for continuance, and that they had a secondary date booked in May as a backup in case they weren't ready for this one. But the judge denied it, and so he should. It's been fucking way too long.
Yeah. I the whole thing is just, I don't know. You don't have a whole lot of faith that they're doing the right things the right way.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's kind of iffy.
Going through Sabrina's thing yesterday and having then gone through Ben's the day before, I thought, well, I'm a fucking idiot. Like, I've got a fucking legal database here. Hello. Oh my God. So I'm going to put in his transcript of all of his, like, every time he has made a deposition, because he's done the one in the car and he's done the one in the November after it.
See,
Yeah.
I haven't. I think the one in the car is the only one that I'm like familiar with, or that I've listened to and took. Yeah, I haven't really went over the other one, so I don't know.
Well, it's in the Google Drive if you want to read it.
Okay.
Yeah, we can cover it. But just even reading Sabrina's yesterday, I could pick up the points there where I think there's weaknesses, and I was going to try and like have that analysed and get it to provide me with like the best legal arguments with regards to the Kentucky laws as well. Yeah. Because I can do that as a as a content creator, because I'm not giving her legal advice. I'm showing the audience a
Right.
particular way of defending a criminal case.
Yep.
'Cause I'm not a lawyer.
And there's nothing wrong with education.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but today I wanted to focus on the sexual health, the sex laws in Kentucky, because it struck me last week that I don't think a lot of people are aware of the fact that they have been abused, because they're not
Right.
aware of the definition of it and the law regarding it,
Yes.
and what protects them, what they are to expect from law enforcement, because
I think we have been almost conditioned, or however you want to say it, to think that if it's not a brutal attack, or if it's not
correct.
sexual act, then there was no abuse, you
Mhm.
know. But what they don't understand is they have God-given rights through the Constitution that they have stomped and stepped and trampled all over.
Yep.
You know, that counts. That
Absolutely
they're
they
not
do.
aware of. You know,
Uh-huh.
not even aware that these things were wrong. You know, sitting in jail with no charges. You know, that
Yes.
beats
Yes.
a speedy trial. You know, you're
And
supposed to have.
what you can ask for at that hospital, what you can demand, like your right to have this assessment done, your right to have this filed, your right to have, that
Right.
type of
I mean, some of these women can't even get their records. Ty has had, I mean, we done it, you know, by email and stuff, because it was the, you know, most easiest or quickest way to, you know, apply to get stuff. And then we found out if it's not submitted in writing and, you know, certified to where they can't say, oh, well, we didn't get it. You
Uh-huh.
know, it's like you never did it. So it's a really, it's a screwed up system and situation.
It gets it got lost in a flood, but it's on the third story of a building. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a second floor, but
Or it
everything was
doesn't get
destroyed.
filed. It doesn't get filed. Like, I was watching Lee the other day, okay, and with all his he's supposed to have had some back today. He got some information back, and when he was reading out Ben's deposition, when it came to Jen and the 911 call where they called the ambulance out and him and Mickey turned up at her place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That she was allegedly laying on the ground on the driveway having on the ground of the road having an OD.
Yep.
His deposition states that they had EMS workers there. There was never a 911 call made.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
Not rushed at all.
So that was just
bullshit.
Bullshit, yeah. Good old buddies going out and kind of making their presence known. And
Did Jen say that she was being harassed?
yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wacko. I wonder if Sabrina knows that.
Oh, I mean, you know, with all of us, they've done things. You know, they'll show up at your house with, I mean, nothing but suspicion, and then next thing you know, they're digging through your house, and it's just, you know, like I said, they've always done things the way they want to do things, not by any laws or.
And they've done it so insulated that they've gotten cocky and lazy.
Yeah. That's what happened. Everybody got sloppy.
Yep. Absolutely. Now I was going through some names, okay?
Okay.
Server. Let me see if I can. Oh, I've lost you. Hang on, let me add you. Add camera slot. There we go. Phil McCracken. I'm an idiot. Ta-da! So, the first one, Appalachian Support Services. Arse. Oop. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Safe Haven Education, she. Kentucky Independent Support Services, or KISS.
I've never heard of
Virtual.
any of these.
No, I'm making them up.
Oh,
These
okay.
are names for the server. I was making up. Virtual and Grounded Intensive Network Agency. And then I went with Common United Networking Tips. I didn't spell that one out. But I think we might, I don't know. Well, I'm going to give it, you can just name it what you like. But I thought this was a nice play on words. Most people have gone for B, I think. Valuable online interactive county education, or voice.
I like that.
Yeah, I like voice.
I do. Because that's what we got and what we need to start using.
Yeah. That's where I started, and I ended up way in the gutter.
It happens. It
Yeah,
happens.
that happens a lot with me. Unfortunately, or not. All right. So what I've done is I have put the link to this. It's the Kentucky Sex Law Book. It's the entire thing.
You know, we was talking about like the ages of like consent and different things like that.
Yeah.
And you know, when everything went on, you know, when I was a teenager, you know, I got pregnant with Caleb. I was 17 when I had him, but I got married right before he was born. But my parents still had to sign because I wasn't 18. So, you know, the laws are so.
Well, you were only 13 when you fell pregnant.
No, I was 17. No,
him?
I met him when I was 13. And, you know, we dated all. Well, he was the only fella, you know, only man I had ever dated or anything. He was, you know, but I got pregnant when I was 17, and you know, I had Caleb and everything at 17, but I would have turned 18 that March, you know. So I basically, with my parents, I was like, if you don't do it now, I'm going to do it when, you know, when I turn 18, because, you know, young, dumb, and in love.
Yeah.
But you know, but you know, there was no law like protecting, like, you know, because I was 17 and there was a large age gap between us. But you know, I don't know, but I just thought it was so odd. You know, here I was pregnant, you know, and everything, and 17 getting ready to turn 18, and they still had to sign for me to get married. Which my dad still says this day he felt like he was signing for my funeral.
Oh,
They hated it. They cried through my whole wedding. It was horrible.
Bugger. Can you guys read that or not? Is it too small?
I'm blind, so I can't hardly see much.
Yeah, I put it into like a presentation screen so you didn't see all of the shit around it.
Oh my gosh.
Hang on. Oh, no. What the fuck? Oh, God. What have I done? Fuck's sake.
Oh, gosh.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It's trying to, I'm trying to open this Kentucky thing, and it's trying to get into StreamYard and kick me out every time I click on it. Oh, that's better.
Huh.
Yeah, bastard. I did it before. Just before I went live, I've gone in to click it on to have it pinned up ready, and it kicked me out of StreamYard. Fuck. Okie dokie. There it is. All right. So 412 pages. We're not going to go through it all, don't worry. But we can pick out what it is that you think might be. I'll get rid of this side bit. See, it's untidy. I don't like it. I don't like it, Brandy. It's not centered. It's just.
I'm the technologically challenged one, so I'm just like no help at all.
I'm the anally retentive one. I can't help myself.
kind of just stand there flailing my arms. It's like, ah.
Did you end up listening to the rest of our stream yesterday?
Well, I got about halfway through, but like my signal, the signal is horrible. I mean, there's hardly no cell service down there, or you'll hit spots, you know.
We end up going for over 4 hours. Oh well, shit happens.
Well, like I said, we're used to shows like that.
We're in for a while, aren't we? All right, so this covers both criminal, civil, and administrative laws with regards to sexual violence in Kentucky. So there's a few different parts to it. There's 7 parts. The first one is the victim's rights and protections in the legal setting, victim services and service providers. You'll be able to tell me if any of them are reputable.
Okay.
And because I'm a bit dubious now, anything in Letcher County, just, mandatory reporting, because the law enforcement have a legal obligation to mandatory report certain things and do certain things. So, that's where I started on that, for reasons that you are aware of. All right. So have you ever heard of the Kentucky Association of Sexual Assault Program?
No.
You haven't? No, didn't think so. It's a coalition of Kentucky's 13 regional programs that provide support, education, and counselling to individuals and their families who have been sexually harassed, abused, or assaulted. Well, how much of the population do you think that might cover?
About 80%. About 80%. It's because harassment, sexual harassment covers a broad area that a lot of people aren't aware that, you're not supposed to act like that in the workplace or in settings.
What do you, what's your, where is it the point of crossing the line, do you think, in your mind?
In my mind, a nasty comment or a dirty joke or something, if it offends me or I get embarrassed, that's really something you really shouldn't be doing, I guess. I mean, if it's somebody I know, I'm comfortable with, we're joking around, but you have someone in power or a police officer or, whatever, and, they say something degrading or something, to me, that's, in my mind,
harassment or
that
assault?
would be harassment, I would think.
Sexual assault. Where's the cutoff line?
Oh gosh, kissing. In my opinion, sexual assault is anytime someone puts their hand on my body that I don't want them putting their hand on my body.
Correct. Any unwanted touching, anywhere. Yep,
that's how I feel about it.
Yes, especially if they're trying to eat your face.
Right. Exactly.
I had that visual every time that was mentioned in the deposition. It was like, oh,
yeah. Are you hungry?
And just to think that was the better option is fucking horrid.
Exactly. I mean, I said, you got to think probably what was going on at the time. They were in a place that was just inhumane and undescribable. So, you see a little glimmer of light to get out of that. You want to grab a hold. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. has it picked up at all? Or has it improved? Or
Not that I can tell. I mean, you still got the same people in charge. You still got the same family running the jail. So, there's not been a lot of changes. You just had, an attempted escape. You just
Yeah.
had one of them get arrested for bringing contraband or rugs into the jail. And they say that right now, I seen a thing in Speak Your Piece where someone had said he was Ben Fields 2.0. Basically, he's got his nice cell and
trustee.
he's being took care of. Basically, it's not jail; it's camp.
Who is it? Do you know who it is?
His name. I mean, they said his name, but it didn't stick in my head. I can look back through the paper or some of the stuff and see what.
Do you know anyone who's currently in Fletcher County Jail now?
Yes, supposed to be. Let's see. Let me get the paper and I'll read it to you.
Because Lee's up for.
It says, and this is in Speak Your Piece. So it's the what do you call it?
On Facebook.
It's in the Mountain Eagle, but it's called Speak Your Piece, and basically people can call in anonymous and leave things. But it says, well, the little guard from jail who got caught with contraband is back in the jail and is said to be getting special treatment, just like Ben Fields did. Why do they get special treatment, including their own TV, their own bed, and their own cell? I don't think it's quite fair to everyone else. Election time is coming, fellows. So, they're not changing. They're not fixing things. They're not, it's repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yep. Yeah, well, Lee was actually saying yesterday that he would be more than prepared to go in and visit someone if he could get onto their visitation, their visitor list.
Yes.
And he can then see through his own eyes.
It's just unbelievable. I honestly,
is it difficult to get in there? Like, would they be suspicious?
Oh, I'm sure they would with that, it's like, I don't know.
Tee it up though, like he was a family member or, get him to play along.
Yeah, that would probably be the easiest route to go was to talk to a family member and see. But, some of them don't have family or have anybody that, is concerned with them.
From Canada.
It's my uncle twice removed on my
correct. And he was a doctor.
Side.
What's that, Tam? Is that a? Hang on, I'll get it in the back door. That sounds funny. Where is it? I can't grab the links from the.
I really think this election season, Letcher County needs to pay really close attention to like the candidates and who the ones that are trying to step up and, have, they're pointing out the wrongs and like the one that's running for jailer, Brian Fields. He's a really good guy. And he always says, every time I go talk to him, he said, please say I'm not kin to Ben Fields. I said, okay.
That was where I went straight away. I've got it, Tam. I've got it. All good. It's on the screen.
But he's a really good guy. He's a professor. He teaches, I think, like criminal justice classes. So he's knowledgeable. He has, an education in this field, and, I really think he would be good. I mean, for the county, it would be a good change because he has campaigned a lot concerning like the mental health aspect.
Yep.
And, if you're in a dungeon that's
Mm.
nasty and
No,
disgusting,
that's
and you're being treated like an animal, there's no rehabilitation. I was talking to Caleb yesterday, and I told him, I said, I guess the angry part of me was when his whole journey started. He was put in juvenile drug court, and under the guise of we will educate him, we will get him what he needs so that he can, grow up and be, go to college, be something. It was designed, or the way they explained it to us in the beginning was this was to benefit him.
Yep.
And all he did was institutionalize him
Mhm.
to where it was like from 14 to 30 or 29, I think, when 29 30, it was nothing but either locked up or running. And it, as a parent, he was a straight A student. He was in the band. He played sports. I had plans in my mind. He was going to go to college and be a doctor or a lawyer. I had such plans in my mind, and he did too. He always wanted to do things. And to watch now how he is and how they destroyed and broke him down,
Mm.
it's heartbreaking. It really is. The potential that was wasted, and not just with him, with Ty and Brianna and Lexi and all these kids were. I mean, to survive what they have survived, they had to have the moxie. They had to have to just still be here.
Yeah.
So
Well, it was awful actually reading that Sabrina's deposition, because you could actually see where after her first marriage she spiraled. Yeah.
Yep.
And just got worse and worse. Poor bugger. Yeah.
And because it doesn't. I don't know. It's such a mess. I was talking the other day, you've got my generation is split.
Mhm.
The haves and the have nots. You've got, my generation, they either made doctors, lawyers, nurse practitioners, things like that, or left and got out of there. And then you had us few that were kind of trapped there, where you couldn't, there wasn't much you could do, and without jobs and money, you can't move. You can't.
Yeah. So they financially get you as well, because you leave school early. They
slap them with a felony very early on. They get slapped with a felony.
Yes,
some kind.
So you've got limited education, then you've got a felony charge or whatever. You've got some criminal charge, and then you've got a record, so you can't get employment.
Right.
And then if you don't toe the line, they own most of the property, so you can't get a house, you can't rent anywhere.
Well, what they'll do is, like with your reputation, it got to the point with us, the police would come to our home so much that it looked like our neighbors, that we were these, these wild people. So when you would go to rent from somebody, that would carry with you, and it would be like, no, there's some reason, to the point that, we ended up homeless for a little while because we could not get anywhere to rent. I had the money, and always paid. And so it wasn't anything like that. It was just reputation.
But that's how the whole monopoly comes into effect, because they have the monopoly on the property. They have the monopoly on the doctors that you see and where you get your medications from. They have the monopoly on the court system, the judicial system, family court, and it goes on.
Every aspect of our life is in one way or another tied up.
It would be an interesting thing to do. Do you know it's Schedule 4, isn't it, that the funding comes under? Is that 1 or 14?
Title 4.
Title 4. Okay. So if you could go back now when Caleb was 14 and add up every single Schedule 14 or whatever it's called for every single rehab he went to, drug court, prison, education, Department of Education, doctor's visits. If you could add that all up, what do you reckon that would be?
Like
That
price
they
wise?
made off them? Yep.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah.
I know just for us, my parents kept records because without them, I would have been up the creek. And from 14 to 18, we spent almost $15,000 in gas, and because, these places would allow visitation and they would take him halfway across the state. And so you would spend all day traveling to get to see him for an hour and come back.
Why would
They
they
had,
do it?
but that's where most of the juvenile rehabs, there was none in our area. So they would ship him, Lexington or just 3-4 hours away. And so, and that way too, we had no access, not knowing, daily what was going on with him. You have no idea.
Yeah. Because he wasn't
they-
even charged with anything, was he? He just was held.
What it was, he got caught in 9th grade with marijuana. He fell asleep in class, and they took him in. Bert Sloan, actually, the resource officer at the school, took him in, and they said, you're under the influence of something. And he told them, I smoked. He was honest and just straight up told them. And they kept trying to make it out it was something else. And they done a drug test and marijuana, So we ended up having to go to court for it. And it was kind of worked out. They were just going to scare him pretty bad and send him on his way. But me and his dad had it was kind of ironic in a way, but we had our divorce hearing the same day as Caleb's first hearing, and we were upstairs.
It was the same judge, wasn't it?
No, it was a different judge because we was upstairs doing our divorce, but Jimmy Kraft was my husband's attorney, and Angie Hatton was my attorney. We go downstairs after he's furious because he didn't get what he wanted upstairs. So we went downstairs and they were getting ready to let Caleb go with a warning since it was the first time. And he acted plumb foolish down there and was like, no, I don't want him having a drug problem and this and that. So to keep everything kind of calmed down, they sent us back to the judge's chambers for a talk. And the decision was either drug court or they was going to take him. They were going to they was going to do it either way. Either if I signed or his dad signed, it was going to happen that day regardless. But then after it happened and I had time to think about it, I went back and tried to fix things, and that's when they told me that they would get me for neglect because I wasn't taking care of like his drug problem, which was smoking marijuana at the time, but I wasn't taking care of the drug problem, and they could get me for neglect and take my other children. So at that point, I just felt like I surrendered him over, like, here you go. But like I said, it was with the hope that they were going to do rehabilitation and training, and it was going to benefit him in the long run, and it destroyed him. The kids got to where they cracked down so hard on them, they couldn't dip, they couldn't, and these are some kids, they've had some life experiences, most of them, I mean, pretty rough. And they were trying to find other medications they could get a buzz off of. They went one time with this thing, it's called Skittles. And they all about killed themselves because it's a cold medication.
A what?
it's a cold, like a sinus or a cold medication that has like a stimulant in it. But what they would do was they would take so much of it that it would run their blood pressure up so high, it would cause hallucinations and the effect of being high, but they're on stroke level, you know?
Yeah.
So you had these young kids, experimenting with medications that wouldn't show up on a drug screen. And so, you know, it started a whole new problem.
Was he exposed to additional drugs in the prison on top of marijuana?
Yes. That's when the opioid, the pills came in, you know.
They were providing him with the pills, and then they let him out cold turkey.
And then, of course, they're going to do what they have to do, you know.
Yep. It encourages people to get what they want.
If I know one of the rehabs he went to, he was on a medication. It was just an antidepressant. It wasn't anything, you know, and they refused to give it to him. They said they were not a dual diagnostic, and they only treated drug problem or the drug issue, and they didn't. No, they didn't unless their doctor. And
who was that?
We have no idea. They would send them. I know one time they loaded every one of them up and took them to a dentist and had their wisdom teeth cut out. I refused. And I told him, I said, if he's going to have anything done, he will go to our dentist. So I had to get an order to go pick him up. I think it was in Stanton or somewhere down that way. To go pick him up, take him to our dentist, let our dentist examine him, see if he even needed it. And went that route. So, and then when they did cut him out, they, you know, gave him all pain medication. Okay. Well, the woman explained to me, because Caleb called me it was a day or two after the surgery, and said they won't give me my medicine. You know, they wouldn't give him the antibiotic, nothing. You know, they just wasn't giving it to him.
So he had that done while he was in jail or in court, in
drug court. He was in a rehab facility. So I called the doctor, and the doctor called the place and told him, said, he is my patient. He's under my care. And if I say give it to him, that means give it to him, you know.
No, using it.
The next day they told me to come get him. They wouldn't let him stay. So I brought him back. We went straight to the courthouse the next day, and they sanctioned him like it was his fault. And they sent him, and they sent him to the detention center for 30 days, I think.
Collins?
No, it was Jim Ward, Judge Ward. Jim Woods. I'm sorry, Jim Woods. That was the one that basically Mickey was the bailiff for, and Kevin was the, I think, county attorney. And, you know, he was the judge downstairs. And so he's the one that when he passed, Mickey and Kevin both said that he was their, like, mentor, or their, like a father figure to him. So,
when Kevin was, like, given promoted to judge, did he run on was it an election thing, or was he just handed that position?
I think it was appointed, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember him ever running for office or anything that I can think of.
So they've got these positions of power, the dominant families, and they keep them because they then appoint who they select to take them.
Right. Who's the most pliable? Who's the most pliable? Who can we get to do what we need done? Who can we get to do this without bucking, you know? keep
And
our
your
keep our keep our game going. You know,
Your thoughts on Kevin's replacement?
I haven't met him yet. I've
What's
heard
his
good
name?
things. Nick, Nick, I can't think of his last name.
I'm glad it's not just me.
I can't think of his last name, but I've heard really good things about him, and I pray
He's only
and
done
hope that he doesn't, you know, mold in and come one of them. You know, it's kind of like, oh,
It's hard when that's all around you, isn't it?
yeah. It just you kind of wonder. I mean, you know, that's even like here lately. I've thought a lot about Mike Watts. I really have.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned him because I spoke to Nicole about him yesterday.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, see, that's the thing. You know, he's got a good heart and he's always done good. I mean, he's always done right by me. I cannot say anything bad about him. And he was really good with my children. But we noticed something.
They're not actively doing that, but if they turn a blind eye.
A blind eye, exactly. But we was talking yesterday, Jody. He was the juvenile, juvenile officer, juvenile coordinator, or whatever. He dealt with juveniles.
Yep.
My middle child, he dealt with him, and he's dealt with Sarah before. We noticed yesterday, me and Caleb, when we was talking, Caleb never. They jumped him right straight over into court. He never did Mike. As far as going through like a juvenile services to see if they can help them, turn them around, get it straight. And then the court would be the next step. They jumped that step with Caleb. They just went straight to court.
They missed the pretrial services.
Yeah. Everything. It was just straight in.
You've got all that documented, haven't you?
Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, I kept, if I didn't write it down, my parents did. You know, like I said, we kept up with like gas and like, you know, how much it would cost to go every weekend. And like one place he was at, the visits was on Wednesday afternoon at like 6:00. So we'd have to rush, you know, because I wasn't going to miss my visits. No matter what, I wasn't going to miss them.
Yeah.
So you know, how in the world, you know, by that time he had already had it. They had already got him to get his GED.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was 15, had just turned 15 when they had him get it. He was in Breathitt County Detention Center. I called everybody I could call. I wrote stuff and put it in the paper and Speak Your Piece. I went off at drug court. I done everything I could do because at that time, school was the only thing I had kind of to keep a control on him. Me and his dad was going through that bad divorce, you know, so school was kind of a, you know, this, you have to do this, you know, this keeps you, you know. So when they took that away, what's a 15-year-old going to do all day? You know? He's going to get in trouble. He's going to do dumb stuff. You know?
Idle hands.
And so, but I tried to stop it, and they just told me point blank he didn't belong to me. They told me he belonged to the state, and they would do what they wanted to. And I thought, you know, and it just confirmed to me signing those papers. You know, it was like, you know, I felt like it was just like the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just going back to that wisdom teeth thing, apparently there is stem cells underneath the wisdom teeth. Which
I heard that. And you know, I wondered why they was so
adamant.
I mean, adamant about all these kids at
That's
one time.
Stem cell research.
Had to have their teeth pulled. And it was like, you know, I could understand if, you know, it was maybe 2 or 3 of them, but there was only like 15 kids, like 15 kids in this place.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them. So it was just kind of.
Can you imagine how much does it cost if you had to go and have that done at your dentist?
Well, with putting them to sleep, because they, put them to sleep and everything, I'd say it's probably more than $1,000 or $2,000. Counting everything.
Let me just.
I would think, because I know pulling a tooth is like $200. But now
Yeah.
with the wisdom teeth, now with Caleb's, his was, well, they call it impacted, where they were under
Yep.
the gum. So they had to go in and do some, surgical stuff, to get his out. And it was just unnecessary. I mean, the dentist told me, he said, we can do it now. He said, or he can wait later, and he may never have to have them taken out.
Yeah.
He said, so, but, what's your choice? Or what. And so at that time, we was like, well, we had to do, I think, Sarah's, because it was pushing her teeth. And I thought, well, we'll just go ahead and
That's
do
different. Yep.
it. Right. But there was no reason at all for him to have them done. But it was one of them.
A study from the University of California has revealed that in 2022, 38 North American businesses used direct-to-consumer advertising to promote unproven stem cell interventions and exome products as purported treatments and preventatives for COVID. When was it that they were trying to get his teeth?
That would have been 2006, 2007. 2007. He was 16, so
It was back earlier than that.
2007, somewhere in there.
We go back to that. So,
and these rehabs were like private, right? Like they wasn't. I know one of them that he was in. Gosh, I can't remember the county. Like I said, it was like Stanton. It was like part of the red or the gorge there. So it's in that county, but they were like private. They wasn't. They had a prison that wasn't. They had a prison that wasn't a mile from them. That was a private prison. It was like Fort. I'll have to look all of that. I would get all that stuff out. But it was just fishy. Everything was just so fishy. They would rent a building. They would rent an old business and throw bunk beds in it and be like, okay, it's rehab,
Oh. Do you know what the funding is for a rehab position?
I don't know. They have done things so wonky. Like most of the rehabs were ran by people that had just graduated programs. So, you might have one that had a degree that was like the main boss, but most of your workers were graduates from, a program.
Yep. So
you didn't have to pay them because it was part of their, whatever.
Yeah. So if you had those teeth taken out by a private dentist, then they're not covered under federal funding. So they make no money off it.
Right. And so they made me come and get him. She told me that this one, and this may be just something she said, but I mean, it's stuck with me forever. But she said that they were trying to show how in a normal setting that anyone can, take pain medication for, like surgery, oral surgery, and successfully, not get hooked.
Yep.
So basically, let's just don't give it to them and let them lay there and suffer. But but it looked good on their books, Hey.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. What I've been on opiates for 11 years, maybe more.
Yeah.
I did have a time in the middle once my arthritis settled down, and we did the Suboxone treatment and got completely off them.
Yep.
Did the more nerve pain type treatments, which worked for a while until I tore 3 tendons in my left shoulder and 2 in my right and 1 in my groin. And then that becomes acute pain.
Yes.
So I now have chronic, acute, and nerve.
Which
And I
is
can tell you,
wonderful.
what was that?
I said, and that's just wonderful.
Yeah, and that's only from one of the diseases that I have. But
Right.
my point is, like, I probably would have had withdrawals had I not had the Suboxone, but I'm not like psychologically addicted. I'm physically.
Right.
That makes sense.
Well,
like I don't.
That's kind of how when I had my problem, that's how mine started. I had back surgery when I was, it was a couple months after, well, I had Sarah in October and I had back surgery in January.
Mhm.
So, and I had just went through cancer.
Yep.
So, I was struggling as it was with everything, but they put me on pain medication before the surgery because it was just, the pain was unbearable. And they never, like how they kind of tapered and weaned and done the Suboxone with you, they just continued to increase my dosage and, I
was on I was taking the equivalent of 240 milligrams of morphine a day.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Well, it was 120 milligrams of OxyContin. Plus, I had some for breakthrough. So, but mine was cold turkey. I mean, just cold turkey. So it's kind of like people used to, when Unite was around, which was a drug, kind of like a drug enforcement type program. Everybody was just scared to death they were going to get busted, Dr. Hopping this and that. And, there was just so many things that they were, kind of gunning out for people with. And so, even though, people had prescriptions and were, legally, they still criminalized us. Like if you were on any kind of pain medication, you were just a horrible person. You were just a drug addict,
Yep.
There was no understanding for, chronic pain or disorders or, nothing. So let's see, that would have been 2015. So I've not had any kind of pain medication since 2015. And it's hard.
Is that because you think you can't trust yourself with it, or?
No, the way that I'm treated, by the doctors and stuff, I just won't go. I have to be pretty much at death's door before I will go to the doctor. And then when I do go, like what happened to me last time,
So you just deal with the pain.
Yeah, I just deal with it. Because it just, the stigma, I guess, and the stereotype and just how that you're treated, it was, it's too much. And they just clump everybody together, anybody that's on pain medication, you're just clumped together. It don't matter if you have, MS or, you have valid reasons, very valid reasons, but it comes down to people were using, that's what I was going to tell you, how people will get mad at you and call CPS and, have them get your kids removed. Yeah. Well, back when Unite was running around, they had a tip line. And if somebody, if you piss somebody off, or, even your doctor would tell you, don't let anybody know you're on medication. They would tell you straight up, just do not tell anybody you're on medication, because you run that risk of, if they get mad, they're going to call that tip line. And then, you've got the drug enforcement contacting your doctor, and then your doctor's like, oh, okay, and so it's a,
So there's no one in between your doctor and the drug reinforcement. Like there's not a governing body that goes, hang on a second, I've prescribed here. What's the go?
right. No, there's nothing. There's no ad.
Oh,
No.
we have to have like government authority on the spot or anything like that. And they count them. They
Yep.
count them. They will allow you 50 tablets per month of whatever, and that's it. You cannot fill that script beforehand. You cannot, because it's all centrally on a computer, like, it's the pharmaceutical benefits scheme.
Yeah.
You cannot book to shop. As soon as it comes up, that permit is for one doctor and one doctor only to prescribe that medication. And if you,
See, I only
you change, you have to get a permit.
I had the same doctor since I was 18 months old. I had never switched and had this doctor, that doctor. He would send me to specialists, for things, but I didn't Dr. Hop. I wasn't doing anything, but it got to the point, it was getting so bad. They were taking it. I felt like they were taking everything they could out on Caleb. And so I thought, this is enough. This is enough. I can't do this no more. And it was just like, I told him, I said, I'm not doing it. And I just, and I just quit going to the doctor. Just,
But then
stop.
I've also, like, even when I first started taking oxycodone, I never got high. It never affected me. Never.
I never did.
No.
It just helped with the pain.
Correct.
It's not like you're
And
catching
that's
a
what I think.
bug.
If you've got real valid pain, it actually works that way.
Yep, I was perfectly normal with them. I mean, you couldn't even tell, and so, I needed them. I still do sometimes, but,
I can't get out of bed without it. There's no way.
but
No
what really hurt me was at that time, there was a stigma so bad about MAT treatment. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. If you were on Suboxone, you were garbage. And you had to go to Pike County or out of state. And, it was a bad situation because there was no treatment for you. You had to go out of state and do it, which at that point they start looking sideways at you because now you're out of state going to a doctor, that.
Well, apparently they used to give the Suboxone in the jails because they were funded for it. And then once they let you out, no more funding, no more Suboxone.
Yeah.
Well, Pike County.
Well, Pike County, I mean, they have a pretty good system with their jail. I mean, that I know. I don't think any of my youngins was ever in Pike County.
You just speak to Nicole.
Right. And so, I don't really know a whole lot about them, but I do know that they had more treatment as far as, Letcher County would throw them in and it would be detox, just laying on a concrete floor in a cell with 14 other people, one toilet. It was a nightmare. And even yesterday we was talking about things and Caleb was talking about how that was one of the hardest things was just being there in the first place was bad enough. But to be so sick, you can't hold your head up. And, you're crawling to the toilet, because you're just that sick. And, there's no Tylenol, there's nothing. So it's real, I don't know.
Sick in what way, that you were vomiting and diarrhea and pain, or?
Yeah, the shakes and the chills and the sweats and the, I know some that, would seize out, they would have seizures and just, crazy stuff. And they would just leave them in the cell and let them tough it out. I mean, so that now I'm glad that they don't do that. I mean, they did at least fix that program to where if you have a prescription, I think when you go in, they will continue. And I think some of them, I'm not exactly sure how they're doing it. I don't know if they will actually send them to a doctor while they're in there and give it, or I don't know if they have to have a prescription when they go in. But yesterday we was talking about, because we was kind of listening to you all, and we was kind of talking in the car, and you know, Caleb had no idea that we were having to pay for his medicine and stuff. He said, I was a state inmate. You shouldn't have had to.
Mhm.
And I'm like, well, we know that now. We know that now.
Yeah. And
So,
they were being charged at the chemist and Medicaid.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I told him, I said, that's why sometimes we would have to pick what medicine, because one of the main problems that we had was doing drugs ruins your teeth, destroys your teeth.
Hmm.
And so you would have a lot of people in there with severe abscesses and just teeth, tooth pain, teeth pain, whatever you know. And there was a lot of times we would have to pay for him to see the doctor just to get an antibiotic so he didn't die from the infection. We went to visit him one time, and he walked out, and his face was, huge. Just one side of his face, his eye couldn't hardly open his eye or nothing. And we were just like, oh my gosh. And he was like, what? And I thought, have you not looked at yourself, But we had to, get that day. After the visit, we had talked to him, and I said, you all have to get him to a doctor. Like yesterday, it needs to be done. That can kill you. And so, there would be times you would have to decide, do I have enough money to buy the antibiotic, because we knew he needed that, and his, like, say, maybe depression medicine or something, something you would have to make it a critical decision of what he would need. But then to find out that they paid for it anyway, and he should have got all of it.
Paid for it, yes.
Is disturbing. I mean, because, there were times we had to decide, well, let's take it out of the grocery money.
Yep.
And then we would have to pull back and do without to make sure he at least survived.
It'd be interesting to see, like, just to do a bit of research and see what the actual funding is for state
inmates.
Yeah.
Because before he was sentenced, he wasn't considered a state inmate, but he had been in there for, good Lord, a while before they even decided what they were doing. So, he spent 3 years down there. Straight. I mean, he was in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, all through. But the last time he was there and served, he got 5 years and served 3 in that jail. And it was during COVID. We had no visitation. We had no, not really any contact. Every now and then they would let them call. I think when stuff would go wrong, they would shut the phones off to where they couldn't get calls out, because, that's the only lifeline they have in there, is to call us family members, and us family members go raise hell. So, sometimes they would, the phones wouldn't work conveniently, or there was something, kind of figured something was going on.
Well, you get the phone call from a jailer saying, do you want to make sure that Caleb's got some money on his commissary, or do you want to speak to him?
Yeah, we had that problem. And I said, that's when people, it makes me so mad when they're like, well, where's the evidence? I've got it.
Oh, really?
I've got it. It's just, I don't trust you. I'm not giving it to you.
Well, 9 times out of 10, they never got their phones back either.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody got their phones.
Yeah.
Most people, when they get arrested, they know to just throw the phone in the vehicle somewhere. The family will find it. If you go to jail with it, it's gone.
Yeah.
And, you have to be careful how you talk on Messenger, because, once they have access to your stuff, they have access to your stuff. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Well, I think Ty's constantly been surveilled, constantly.
Oh yeah, it's a mess.
She's not been very well either, has she?
Huh? No,
She's not been very well.
she's been having a rough time.
Yeah.
It's like I get better and she's fall, you know.
She messaged me the other day and she said, is your back killing you? I'm like, yeah, sorry.
We all have sympathy pains for each other.
I'm like, cut the fucking cords, cut the cords. Yeah, it's not been good.
It really hasn't. And, you know, these girls, well, they're not girls. I call them my kids all the time, and they're grown, you know, but you sit and you just, you know, like, you know, we've sat backstage before and all of us just sit and talk. And I told Ty, I said, can you imagine how Jody and everybody else, what's going through their minds when we just talk normal to each other and tell stories that we've been through, and they're thinking like, holy shit, you know.
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, it takes a lot to shock me because I did nursing for so long. I've pretty much seen it all, done it all, felt it all, smelt it all, touched it, squeezed it, poked it, inserted something into it, dressed it, washed it, wiped it.
Whatever,
yeah. So it takes a fucking lot to shock me.
Yeah.
But you've seen me a couple of times go, what the fuck?
Yeah, and you know, and it doesn't, because to us it's so normalized.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about it like it ain't nothing, you know, boy, that ain't nothing. Oh, you know.
It's normal.
It's normal. And then, you know, I say it sometimes, even myself, and go, God, you know, we should have never, half of that should have never happened.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. That's what I mean by normalizing victimization. Like, you don't know any other way to be.
Right. And so, you know, it becomes, it's a web. It's so tangled, you know. Because,
and it's finely tuned. It's so finely tuned. They've got it all sewn up neatly.
And that's what I'm saying. It's every aspect of our lives they have covered.
Yes.
And it's been going on since the Oxy days. That's when everything just peaked. I mean, it was going on before that, but it was a different kind of game, I guess. It was more of the rich getting rich. You know, it was more.
They needed to replace their income.
Right. When the coal boom gone, it was just a disaster. You know, everything started falling apart. And, you know, it was just, and that's how they fixed it, was with programs.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, we'll start this, we'll do this.
What's she sending me? I think this part is.
Oh, different girl.
I looked at your Brussels sprout soup. I do like a Brussels sprout. I've not had it in a soup before, though. I steam mine.
Tom makes some concoctions, but they're all good.
Yeah, I have. I love Brussels sprouts, but I cut them in half and steam them, and then I fry them in butter with onion and cabbage and lots of butter. It's delicious. All right, sweetheart. All right, I might start. Tan sent this. It's actually quite good because it gives you a definition of what rape in the first degree is. So it's sexual intercourse with someone who cannot consent because. Actually, how old is this? Because April 23. All right. Well, the laws have actually changed. They've updated since then. Because I read them out, and this doesn't seem to cover the like the power, like authority, positional authority. So it's sexually intercourse by forcible compulsion, or that person is physically helpless, or that person is under 12 years of age. Now that was different to what I read. Do you remember me doing that thing? And you were saying, but hang on a second. We were told that
14, or no.
we were told that the age of consent was 16 or something. Was that remember?
16. Well,
Yeah,
that's what it was when, when I was a teenager.
yeah. But all right, let me find the thing that I read. Law enforcement legislation, Kentucky. Kentucky. There we go. Statute of limitations, section 242. There it is. I think. Nope, that's not it. Kentucky legislation to amend. There we go. Okay, so relating to sexual offences against children, a person is guilty of rape in the first degree when he or she engages in sexual intercourse with another person by forcible compulsion, or he or she engages in sexual intercourse with another person who is incapable of consent because he or she is physically helpless or is less than 12 years old. Rape in the first degree is a Class B felony unless the victim receives a serious physical injury, in which the case becomes a Class A felony, or is under 12 years old, in which case it becomes a capital offence. Capital. Under 12. Capital.
Boy, they sure don't.
Yep.
Look up the case of Patrick Little.
Oh, I've heard that name.
He was besties with Judge Mullins. They had been friends since childhood, I guess. He had 42 counts of sexual abuse, incest. I mean, they were, you name it, they were there.
Supremacist?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they dropped them down to, it ended up being 21 counts. So basically dropped it in half. And he's on 5 years of house arrest. Still has his business that's right next to the high school. Yep. He 5 years on house arrest with 42 counts of sexual assault on, I believe one was under 12 and one was under 14.
We've got a Patrick Little in Australia. Patrick, body cam footage shows Patrick Little being assaulted whilst in custody, serving. New South Wales police officer has been convicted of assaulting. Oops, that's not him.
He was a musician. He taught guitar lessons and stuff to kids. I mean, you know.
A Marine before that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he did before. He owns like a those barns or sheds that you can buy and they, transport them to you already built and things. Yep. He owns one of those businesses. Right after his sentencing, and Matt Butler was his attorney too. Matt didn't recuse himself from being his attorney till after everything was done with the case. Yeah, it was a mess. Kevin, instead of sending it upstairs because, like you said, capital offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a death penalty state still.
Instead of sending it upstairs where it should have been, and they kept it downstairs, and Kevin ruled on it.
Oh, really?
There you go. That's him.
Thank you, Miss Tricia. You're a fucking legend. What did you make? Oh my God, I made a white bean and collard. What's a collard?
Collard greens. It's like a greens, I guess.
A what? What's a collard?
Like collard greens, like a mustard green or like I think. I think.
Hang on, I have to add a spot for you. She is. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
How you doing?
I'm probably going to turn my camera off. I'm sick as a dog, but I'm here.
You sound a little better, or
I
your
do feel
voice does.
a little better. The pain is better. the throat pain was terrible yesterday. But I just did another pine needle breathing treatment, and I'm going to heat some soup up and have it for breakfast too, some antibiotic soup. And
Yep.
hopefully I'll be completely better by the end of the day. But I'm going to turn my camera off while I finish up and
That
just hang
the,
out with you. Okay with you?
I did. I woke up and seen Jody's message. I was like, oh crap. So I just.
Yeah, I slept. I overslept. I was going to try to get up a couple hours ago, but I just couldn't do it.
Well, you need to rest.
I guess that medicine needed to work. I took a lot of fire cider and stuff yesterday too to help flush my system out. So
I was
needed
just
to
talking
rest
about
and
your
work.
The
What was
victims, the mothers, the victims, the mother of the victims, was so upset with what they decided to do with him because they didn't ask them, they didn't, there was no discussion. It's just like, oh, well, that's what he gets. No jail time. Time served whatever time he was in there, which probably wasn't very long. He and wasn't probably treated like everybody else, but
So no victim advocate of anything for the child, nothing.
Nothing for the children.
They just went in the office and decided, oh well, we'll give him a few months, slap on the wrist, right?
Yep.
Like no court,
and so the
no trial.
mother was just defeated. I mean, that happens to your children, and 5 years on house arrest. I mean, the community, somebody in the community or someone's in the community decided to go up there and spray paint and decorate his buildings with lovely words like,
oh yes,
Oh,
they wrote pedophile across all of his little Amish buildings that he sells.
risk assessment rating low. The
mhm.
fuck, really?
Well, like I said, his business is next door to the high school. The high school is
Oh,
just
we
right
looked it up
across the
the other
road.
Literally straight across the street.
This is the guy you were telling me about the other day that we looked up and I couldn't find because he's back in
Yeah.
jail, yeah?
No, I don't think
No.
so. Not unless he's done something else, which I wouldn't put it past him.
'Cause I
I
thought,
wouldn't put it past him either, but I ain't heard nothing.
Who gets 5 years on an ankle monitor?
yeah.
That's just
Who's
unheard
running
of,
that program now?
huh?
Who's running the ankle monitor program now?
Probably not.
Lena, ain't it? Ain't Lena doing it now?
Lena?
Lena,
Don't quote me on that. I
Lena
think it's
was.
Lena.
yeah.
Might not be now. It's been a while since I've talked to anybody at first. So
It doesn't actually say anything about where he is
Okay.
or what.
They protected him pretty good. I mean,
they protected him really good.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything.
but like I said, he used to teach
Okay.
guitar lessons to kids.
And if I try to go any further, it blocks me because I've got on, unfortunately.
And does
So
that
how many-
show like his charges?
No, I can't see anything. It just says offences were.
Let me see if I can look up the Mountain Eagle article because it had a lot of.
If you put in his CR number, you might be able to find it. I get stifled over. Oh, your chest sounds terrible. Terrible.
It's not really down in my chest.
I think
just
it's
up
where
in my
she's been
throat.
outside.
Yesterday now, I couldn't hardly speak. By the
Yeah.
time I got fed up and made all this medicine in the middle of the night, I did this at 2 o'clock in the morning last night. I was miserable.
Okay. All right.
It's not so much a cough, it's just like a sore, just pain in my throat. It's weird.
So is it more of a tickle than because it still sounds like you've got a bit of moisture on that chest?
It's real dry. I
Let's
feel better
see.
with the humidifier and stuff on. And
Businessman escapes time in jail after pleading guilty to sex crimes with minors. A Letcher County businessman, he's been charged in 44 indictments involving sexual contact with minors, will serve no time in prison Patrick Little, 51, 37 Russell Drive, Jenkins, signed off February 14th on a plea agreement for 2 charges of first-degree sexual abuse.
Plea
But it was just filed in court in May. One of the charges, and won't let me read the rest of it. It was Sam Adams, and that was in November 27th, 2024.
Hey,
Let me
Bri.
see if I can find the actual sentencing and sexual abuse case delayed. Sentencing, yeah, of course, they keep pushing it off. Let's see. Sentencing has been delayed until September 25th for a Letcher County businessman who had been charged in 44 indictments involving sexual contact.
And he got a Class D felony. Class D.
Class D, yeah, same as writing a bad check.
The fuck?
Actually, it just looks like they just wrote the same thing over and over.
I don't want
Yeah, but I'm the problem.
To the person that just gave us a super chat. This community is just the best. Love you all the different.
Thanks, Bri.
I found one that's not done by the Mountain Eagle. It's got a little bit more. It says a Letcher County grand jury, according to WYMT.com, indicted Patrick B. Little of 51 of Jenkins on 21 counts. That's when it got dropped. On 21 counts of first-degree sexual abuse, victim under the age of 12. So that means that should have been capital.
Yes,
Right.
so rape in the first degree is a Class B felony, punishable by
Okay.
10 to 20 years
Okay,
imprisonment.
here's how it broke down. 21 counts of first-degree sexual abuse of victim under the age of 12, and then 20 counts of first-degree unlawful transactions with a minor, illegal sex acts with victim under the age of 18, and first-degree unlawful transaction with a minor, illegal sex acts, victim under the age of 16. Little was arrested on an indictment warrant by the Kentucky State Police and lodged in Letcher County Jail. He has since been released on a $100,000 cash bond.
Oh.
The MountainEagle.com reports that Little owns and operates a music store and a rent-to-own storage building business at Ermine Town, a fewer than 700 people in Letcher County. What? Little was previously arrested in August of 2015 for bribery of a public servant and harassing communications. I didn't know that. Well,
Sorry, read that last one again.
previously arrested in August of 2015 for bribery of a public servant and harassing communications.
Mm,
Oh.
interesting.
And that's not the Mountain Eagle. That's another
From another publication.
from another publication. They actually have more information. That
Did you pass that name that I was asking about in Ben Field's deposition, where he had he was deposed for another guy that had died in custody at Letcher.
the Cantrell.
Yes, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, from what I have found out so far, it basically his death stems from neglect.
Oh,
Basically, that's all I found out so far. Basically, they wasn't. He had complained, and nothing was done.
so he was in Letcher, yeah.
Yes.
And how old was he?
See, I can't find out a whole lot about it. It's kind of it's another
Yeah.
one of them. There's
Okay,
no.
What are we talking
Yeah.
about? I'm lost.
In Ben's deposition, he said that they asked him if he'd ever been deposed before, and he said yes, and it was for this guy, Cantrell, was it? Christian Cantrell?
Christian Cantrell.
Yeah. And I didn't know who it was, and Lee didn't know who it was.
Caleb didn't recognize him either, Banna. I mean, Ty, sorry.
It's okay if you're gonna mess my name up. I'm glad it's Banna or one of yours.
One of my babies. I got too many babies.
My daddy
Um,
used to do that so bad he'd say, "Tiff, Luke, fucking off the goddamn whichever one you are standing there in
Well-
front of me, get over here."
all day long yesterday, I would go Ty, and Vanna would just look at me, and I'm going, Vanna. So now I'm doing it to you. So
So how long has it been since you guys saw each other? Too long.
hang on, I might have
been a
found
long time.
something.
It's been
No,
it's
not
been
him.
a while. It's been a few months since before Christmas.
He doesn't have anything in the Mountain Eagle. You know how they put the like the death notices,
Okay.
obituaries. That's what they're called.
There should be something at the Letcher County Jail, though. There'd have to be a record of it because Ben was deposed in it. So they
Right.
must have gone.
I wonder, can we get the deposition from that?
His
Why not?
yeah, maybe. Ben's deposition.
Yeah, because it kind of makes you wonder what capacity did
Yeah.
so that would be two things they scapegoated him on, because I'm
Yeah.
sure he wasn't the only guard that took care of him.
Yeah. Yeah, he brushed it off in the deposition just to say, like, yeah, they interviewed, like, they deposed everyone that was working that day or some shit. I don't know how old he was. I don't know. Did it say what year?
No.
It did say that. I'd have to go back and have a look, but I might look.
Oh,
that one up.
wait. Found it.
Super
Funeral held for inmate. Hang on. It's coming up. Okay. Funeral held for inmate who died after falling ill. Funeral services were held this week for a Letcher County jail inmate who died at Whitesburg Hospital emergency room. Terry Chris Cantrell Jr., 55, was pronounced dead by Letcher County coroner Marty Baker at 5:05 p.m. on April 21st. Kentucky State Police say Cantrell, who was in and out of consciousness and vomiting, was transported to the Appalachian Regional Hospital. And that's all it says.
Really?
That's it. So it was April 21st. Okay, the article was wrote April 25th, 2012. And it says funeral services, were held this week for a Letcher County inmate who died in the Whitesburg emergency room. So
In
that would be
2012?
that would click with what I found out. It was neglect.
So his proper name, was it Kerry?
It is Terry T as in Tom, Terry Chrisley, Cristley, but they called him Chris Cantrell Jr., 55. He was 55 years old. Was pronounced dead by the Letcher County coroner Marty Baker on April 21st.
You know much about Marty?
Marty is
That's my cousin's husband.
that's who's with Ashley.
That's the one that one of the ones that Liz is always trying to fucking make look horrible, and
Yeah.
and they got a little bit of vindication whenever the real
thought I
story
heard
came out that she's still twisted and lied about
Marty,
everything.
He does two jobs, doesn't he? He's not just the coroner. He does something else. Is that right?
he was the director of nurses at the hospital at that time, and I think he still
I've got a
is.
good memory.
Huh.
I've got a good memory.
He's the one that they said got in that fight, and he was defending his home, but
And that guy was
Because
at their house raising hell and drunk and trying to fucking, he was just defending his home. And then
And
they
he's
made
now
it in
married
the
to
newspaper
Daniel
and
Johnson's
stuff.
ex-wife. Is that
The
right?
piece they did in the newspaper tried to make it look like he was just this horrible, violent person
Violent.
that didn't deserve to be a nurse or anything. And that's
Yeah.
not the case at all. You know,
no,
like,
Marty's a good. I went to high school with
He's a
Marty,
really good
and
person.
Marty has
he's got a
been.
great bedside manner. He's good to the people, good to his
Yep.
patients, good with family. He's just a good person, you know, and Ashley loves him. She says he's good to her. So that's all.
But
Ashley
you
was
know,
married
he's
to
got
Daniel.
he's got a temper. I mean, when we were in high school, they was doing a lot of that MMA stuff. The boys was, and you know, because that's all they had to do in Letcher County, pretty much. And so, you know, he knows how to fight. You know, he done a lot of it when he was younger, but
So one
he's a
punch can do a lot more damage than
a normal, you know. So,
one.
but he was just protecting his home, you know.
Yeah. Dude was
So-
pissing on his porch and everything in front of all their guests, everybody. Like, it was crazy. He was there for like 45 minutes harassing him before the fight ever even happened.
Yep.
It
But
was
then
all
they
on
put
film.
it in the
It
paper
all
like
happened
he's
on
this
film and stuff, but then they like tried to act like
They-
yeah, he just went out and attacked this boy for no reason.
That's the bit that Liz played. Yeah, was the last bit where it goes down to the bottom, down the stairs, down to
Yeah,
the
well,
car.
that was after it had already been happening for like an hour, and the guy wouldn't leave. And yeah, that was at the end of it.
Yeah.
Whenever
he snapped. He
when
snapped.
he
He
finally
kept
had
telling
enough,
him to leave.
and get the fuck off my property, get out of my house. So you can't blame them. I mean, who's going to let somebody come in their house and act like that? Come
But
up where
the-
their wives and her friends and stuff are, and kids, and pull out their dick and piss on their porch.
so the fact that this man died from pretty much neglect in 2012 explains to you this shit's been going on for a while.
For a very long while, yeah.
'Cause, I mean, 55 ain't that old. I'll be 52 this week, and 55 is not that old. And I mean, just to fall ill and die, there's
if
more,
Marty
there's
was
more to
involved-
that. There is more to that.
If Marty was involved, they would have done an autopsy. Yeah.
I would think they would, since he
Well,
was
they
in
have to.
custody of the jail. But you know,
Well,
he died
I
in the
would have thought
emergency
that would
room.
have
It
I
says
would have
here
thought
he
so.
died in the emergency room, so that he must have been really bad. You know, they let him lay there and get that bad.
He was already on the verge of death by the time they took him.
Is
By the time they took him to the
autopsy reports available in? Like, can you get hold of them or not?
Do what now?
Can you get hold of autopsy reports under a FOIA or not?
I
don't know.
don't. I don't know.
Something
I-
to look into, though. I wasn't aware of this, but I'll put it on my notes of things to
I
research.
remembered somebody because there's been more than just this Cantrell
Mhm.
that has passed from, you know, the jail from neglect. We talk about
Judy?
me and Ty all the
Miss
time.
Judy
Talk
Taylor?
about Miss Judy. Poor Miss Judy. I mean, that woman.
Miss Yasin, Jamie's mommy.
Yep,
Who was sorry? Hang on. What? Judy? What?
Jamie.
Judy Taylor.
Oh yeah,
Judy Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
her
And Miss
story is
Yasin.
heartbreaking.
And was there another one I heard?
Misty.
Her
Misty?
daughter did an interview with Brian Ensign, Jamie Rayburn.
Her mom.
Oh,
Her
okay.
mom, Misty was.
Her mom died from neglect.
Rayburn, Misty Rayburn.
No, Ison.
No, I think Jamie Rayburn is the daughter.
You know,
The daughter.
and saying that, reading out Ben's deposition, and they're asking Ben if he knew Christy Fawkes.
Fools.
Yes. Do you
Yes.
know who she is? No.
He knows. He knows who Christy
No.
is. They all know
No.
who Christy is. Christy's
No.
like me. We go
Yeah.
in for the throat when it comes to our babies.
Was there any complaint made against you? What do you mean a complaint? I don't understand. What? Yeah, fucker. Yeah. Your birthday's the 8th, isn't it, Brandy? Or am I wrong?
Fifth.
5th. Okay. Ooh.
52. I've earned every one of them years. I'm proud of them. I told Ty, I'm proud to get old. I like it.
I'm 55 this year.
we get by with stuff a little more. We can say something and be like, ah.
Sarisia's just put up happy early birthday, Brandy.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, wow. All these Pisces.
I don't know if my computer turned me off.
Are you a fire sign, Tyre?
Ty's a shit. What Ty, what is your sign?
Should be a Leo or a Taurus, I reckon.
I'll
What-
say she's a
what-
oh crap.
What day is her birthday?
That's what I was trying to think. I don't know where she's at.
Oh, no, she's
Hang on, I got it right.
Gemini, is it? Gemini?
Who, me?
Yeah, what are you? Are you a I'm a
Gemini?
Pisces
Cancer.
Cancer. But you're
Yeah,
on the
I was
cusp,
right on-
ain't you?
Is that a fire sign?
Yeah.
I thought so. So am I.
That's what we tell everybody. I'm the water that just kind of flows, and then Kai's the fire that just, so I'm kind of like, hey, Kai.
Well, my husband was a water and I'm a fire. Well, I'm a Saggy. I think Scorpio's fire too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Savannah's a Scorpio, and then
I'm a
Sarah's a
Aries.
Libra.
Yeah, they've got a wicked sting.
Gemini is an air sign, but I think that's part of one of the characteristics of Gemini being a twin is that it carries a little bit of all the
Who?
signs.
Yeah.
The fire,
All right.
too. I mean, I don't know.
Look like you got some sunshine out there.
Yeah, it's a pretty day.
Very much.
The snow gone?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we've had 60-degree weather for 2 or 3 days now.
It was beautiful yesterday.
All sunshine and warmth.
All right. So,
It's like the neighbor.
rape of the second degree occurs when someone who is 18 years of age or older engages in. Hang on. I need to go back to that fucking. I wasn't finished with that. Sorry. Because I'm trying to work out this definition of first degree.
We
And
were
how
talking.
with consent.
Yeah, we were talking, Ty, about like the ages and like how we need to
it's
start kind of
classified.
educating everybody on, sexual abuse doesn't
Yes.
just mean that you get beat to death and
Yes. That's
horrible stuff. It's
the
other
whole
things
point.
too.
So a
There's
person
many
is
forms.
guilty of sexual abuse in the first degree when he or she subjects another person to sexual contact by forcible compulsion. Now, I want to know the definition of forcible compulsion.
Forcible compulsion is whenever you have to do it or it will result in something else like coercion.
Or
Right?
he or she
Or
subjects
is it forced compulsion like hold you down forced?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other option to that is that he or she subjects another person to sexual contact who is incapable of consent because 1, they are physically helpless.
Yep.
2, they're less than 12. 3, is mentally incapacitated. 4, is an individual with an intellectual disability, or being 21 years old or more, he or she subjects another person who is less than 16 years old to sexual contact. Engages in masturbation in the presence of another person who is less than 16. Engages in masturbation while using the internet, telephone, or other electronic communication device while communicating with a minor who the person knows is less than 16. D, being a person in a position of authority, of special trust. He or she, regardless of his or her age, subjects a minor who is less than 18 years old with whom he or she comes into contact with as a result of that position to sexual contact or engages in masturbation in the presence of the minor and knows as has reason to know the minor is present or engages in masturbation whilst the internet. Yeah. Now, I want to know. All right. So 2, sexual abuse in the first degree is a Class D felony unless the victim is less than 12, which case it becomes an offence, a capital offence. So even if it's like they start at 9 and go to 15, at some point in that time they were under 12. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Capital offence. But what it doesn't really define. Upon conviction of a defendant in cases where the death penalty may be imposed, a hearing shall be conducted. The judge shall hear additional evidence in extenuation, mitigation, and aggravation of punishment, including the record of any prior criminal convictions. Yeah. No, get on to the, where is the bit where the authority, power, position of power. The fuck? The offence of rape in the first degree, sodomy in the first degree, or sexual abuse, because that's one of Sabrina's charges, isn't it?
And that's another thing that I learned. Sodomy is also oral.
Really?
Yes. Because basically any orifice that's not the hoo-hoo Yeah. is considered sodomy.
Hoo-ha. Do you know what we call it in Maltese?
What?
The pachoch. My kids, because there's no really nice word in the English language, I thought, that names it. Like, you know, when you're trying to talk to kids that, you know, are learning between 2 and 10, you know, what it is and stuff. And I kind of wanted to keep it like a different word so that I knew what I was talking about. They knew what I was talking about, but no one else particularly did. You know what I mean? So we would always refer to it as that there's the chochi. Yeah. Like, have you cleaned your chochi? Okay, good girl. And it's stuck right even to this day as adults.
Right.
Because I just never felt comfortable saying, even as a nurse, saying, you know, have you cleaned your vagina?
Yeah.
It just doesn't roll off the tongue the same. Speaking of vagina, where is my... Oh, I gotta put it. I'll have to show it later because I'm in that at the moment. But I wanted to look at the fucking... Where is it? Sodomy in the first degree. How is it defined? Deviate sexual intercourse with another person by forcible compulsion, or deviate sexual intercourse with another person who cannot consent because the person is physically helpless. That doesn't define it enough for me. Not even close.
Maybe that would cover like people in nursing homes and things.
It
Maybe
doesn't
I don't.
cover. Deviant sexual intercourse is defined by means any act of sexual gratification involving the sex organs of one person and the mouth or anus of another.
Yep.
Or penetration of the anus of one person by a foreign object manipulated by another person. It does not include penetration of the anus by any body part or a foreign object in the course of the performance of generally recognized health. Oh, okay, so like if you're going in for a gastroscopy. Colonoscopy, sorry. I suppose I had to put that in. Fair enough. So was it first degree or second degree was Ben's charge for Sabrina in the sodomy? Do you know? Can you remember?
I don't remember. That's kind of, you know,
Let's go to the worst case.
It should.
Worst case scenario of third degree. Punishment for that crime is a felony, custody felony, punishable by 1 to 5 years imprisonment. And that was only one of his charges. 1.
6 months. He
Yeah.
got 6 months
Yeah.
at camp, not jail.
Fourth degree. I don't think it was fourth degree, was it?
Wasn't it downgraded to lower? I mean,
Sodomy in the fourth degree was defined as engaging in deviant sexual intercourse with another person of the same sex. Okay. No, so it couldn't be that. It has to be at least 3. A person who's 21 years of older, at least 10. A person 21 or older and has had sexual intercourse with someone younger than 18. Person in a position of authority or special trust and has deviant sexual intercourse with a minor. Person is a jailer. A person is a jailer or an employee, contractor, vendor, or volunteer of the Department of Corrections, Department of Juvenile Justice, or detention facility. Well, he was a Kentucky State detention, wasn't he? employee?
It's not Kentucky State, it's county.
He was
But
two.
it's still a public official, yes.
Well,
Still
they,
two
they
An
become
officer of the law.
the
As far as
jail.
her jailer,
The
But he
jail
was
now.
still her
keep-
prisoner, her in prisoner, like still the one that kept her in prison.
But
the
he
one
was
that helped
actually
me.
he was earning two incomes. He was earning one from Letcher County Jail and one for the ankle monitor, which was the federal one.
Yes.
He was
Yeah.
collecting both wages.
Yes.
So, department or a detention facility for the custody, supervision, evaluation, or treatment of offenders and subjects another person the offender knows to be incarcerated. He can't deny that. Supervised, evaluated, or treated by the correctional system to deviate sexual intercourse. There you go. So it has to be at least a third degree because fourth degree does not cover any of that.
It would be
And that-
interesting to see if they did give him a lesser charge. You know what I'm saying? To
Yes.
like
I
thinking,
do
well, if we charge him with something, they'll shut up.
I do have it. I think. Let me have a look. Ben. Ben. Okay, court filings. Let me see. Share this tab instead. Can you see that? Yes. Okay. So. I want to get hold of the complaint, the actual written complaint that
Right.
that
Started
Sabrina
the ball
wrote.
rolling.
Yes.
Ain't it funny that there's just you cannot find these things?
No.
There's things that should exist, that
Yeah.
should be there, that should be documented. They're just not in it.
I can't. That tells me nothing.
I mean, that's why sometimes you feel like you're chasing your tail when
Yeah.
you're trying to go through these things and find legal things that should be there.
Especially
And,
over here because I get stonewalled as well.
And yesterday I was going to say something while Lee made a comment about like how many mistakes was like just words misspelled or word and in my mind it's like they could care less. They didn't think this would come to fruition. They just thought, okay, whatever, and kind of just threw it together. Like there was no concern. I mean, I would be totally embarrassed if I was the one that wrote that up.
Absolutely. Okay. Right. Role of victim advocates in court proceedings. In all court proceedings, a victim advocate, upon the request of the victim, shall be allowed to accompany the victim during the proceedings to provide moral and emotional support. Kentucky Crime Victim Bill of Rights. Where did I find that? Let's go back to the menu. I'm not going to scroll through all that. Okay, so because there was a crimes victim compensation fund. Yeah?
Never heard of that.
I haven't heard of that.
No. What page is it on? Can I get to that?
That's kind of like that opioid fund. Where the heck
Yeah,
did
we
that
got to
go?
dig into that.
Chapter 2.
I'm working on something there.
F.
It's supposed to be helping pay bills and everything for people.
hmm They're supposed to be giving people barrier relief funds.
What's this now?
The opioid
Process settlement for our
What-
county. It was intended for people that are in
it's a big
treatment.
lawsuit against the pharmaceutical companies for force feeding us opiates.
Right.
And we're
They was-
supposed to get anybody that was affected by it is supposed to be able to get barrier relief funds, access to extra programs, access to certain kinds of services and things to help you with your recovery and like getting a normal life back.
Yeah, help you
And,
pay
they gave,
rent,
I think
or
that Whitesburg got like 6 or 7 million, didn't they?
it was up there.
It's
It
up there.
was-
It's a lot. And I've got the correspondence from the lawyers that say that yes, we are supposed to get like a portion of that. Those funds are supposed to be used for certain things, and they're not being used.
They're
for
not.
any of those things.
I don't know anybody that's getting
But-
like rental assistance or help with bills or,
Yeah.
you know, the things that they're supposed to help make treatment
Yeah.
not,
More
you
accessible.
know,
I bet you
Well,
they're claiming them.
Help
most
people
people,
get back and
when-
forth.
most people when they go into treatment, it's not just going into treatment for them because they know that they'll lose the place where they live because, you know,
Yep.
they're not going to be there. They're not going to be able to pay rent. They're not going to be, so they usually, when they leave these rehabs, they come out with nothing. I mean, they have nowhere to go. They, you know, they've lost everything. So it's like starting over every time they
Every
would
time you
stick
go
them
in,
somewhere.
you come out and start over.
Starting over.
And
Start
now
over.
they've got $6 or $7 million in barrier
That
relief
should
money
help.
from the pharmaceutical companies that's meant to be for that, to be helping
Yep.
us with. And
And
we've
no.
not seen none of it.
Nope.
Who's using the money? What's it being spent on? Because it's not the people recovering from the opioid epidemic.
Nope. Not at all. So we're kind of digging in on that
So
right
we're
now.
about to take a deep dive into that because I've got the correspondence from the lawyers.
So
that
we
break
know
it down how we're entitled to that money and how it's supposed to be dispersed. Like they gave that to all the people that were involved in the lawsuit. So
it's
I don't know
not.
if they just thought
it's
nobody
not
knew they
being-
were getting it or like what.
A lot of people
They
don't
think
even
they're
know
just gonna
about it.
pop away in a bank account and pretend it don't exist until everybody forgets that it's
I
there.
think it's
I mean,
gone.
what's your plans here? Because
I
we've got
think
a
it's
lot of
already
people
gone.
who are still in the throes of addiction that could use some help.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh.
Like
Before
I
you
said,
got here. Sorry.
like I said, they give these people the hope. You know, this big hope that if you get in our program, we will help you get your life back
Yeah.
on track. And they go into these programs with these hopes, and you leave with nothing.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
Yep.
Clothes.
Yep.
Come home, you ain't got no fucking car. Like I cannot
Yeah,
tell you
everything's
how many
been
times I've had to
repossessed.
start over just from going to treatment or trying to go and do one of their programs that they force you into. One of their court-ordered programs.
And what did you mean when you told him he was going to be dodging dicks for the next 50 years?
Love. So I've nearly finished. the
Why does
Discord
our
server.
our sheriff department? I was looking something up just now, and it says their responsibilities is the office handles law enforcement, tax collection, and court related services. But why is our sheriff department involved
wait
with
for
the
that.
tax collection?
Do they have to issue the warrant though for tax evasion or?
We have a fucking. That's federal, ain't it?
I thought.
Ain't that a
Yeah.
fucking federal thing? Tax evasion and shit. That's not state or county or
I think that's FBI. I thought it was the IRS.
IRS. That's the feds. Yeah, not
But
the
it
sheriff's
says-
department.
It says
But
leadership.
when you get a warrant for somebody, it's a county attorney that does that, though, ain't it?
I don't know.
So that's not the sheriff's office either that issues warrants and stuff.
Okay, this is just a little thing that it come up. It says leadership. Billy Jones was appointed sheriff in October 2024. Responsibilities: the office handles law enforcement, tax collection, and court-related services. The location: the office is associated with the Letcher County Courthouse, with the jail located in the basement. Recent activity: the department has recently focused on increasing security, including assigning deputies to the high school. The next generation, you know. I don't know. We look into that a little more.
Yeah. I think it, hang on.
Yeah, it even said
Yep. Sure the fuck does.
I have so much fun with these, I tell you. I've got so many that I've made and saved and haven't even uploaded into StreamYard yet. I didn't even giggle. Oh, fuck. Yeah, so I'm at the last stages of finishing the channel, the Discord server. I've just got to put the bots in now.
So exciting.
And I was I was going through some names like what it could be, and I was trying to do a play on words on what. Well, I started nice and worked backwards. So the first one I came up with was the Appalachian Support Services, or ARS. Kentucky Independent Support Services, or KISS. Virtual and Grounded Intensive Network Agency, or Vagina. Oops, wrong one. And then I got to Common United Networking Tips.
Boy,
the
That's
unit day.
And then I went, well, I actually started at this one, and I had two of them. So there was virtual online interactive community education, or valuable online interactive county education, or voice. I like that.
I like
Voice.
A, the virtual online
Virtual
interactive
online
community
interactive.
education.
Do you like voice though? Like as a
That's the one I picked.
synonym
It's
to
instant.
represent. I thought if we do a play on words, it's easier to remember.
Yeah.
You can just remember it as that.
I liked voice. I like that one.
I did have home as well, but I couldn't think of anything.
Home.
Oh, I also had a Discord interactive community. No, Discord interactive connections Kentucky. Dick.
Cat, dick.
I know I'm a fuckwit. I can't help myself. And I couldn't think of anything for home. Go figure.
That would
like
be so.
voice.
That would be kind of funny. Them, who showed your corruption? Dick. Dick did it.
Who exposes corruption? Dick does.
Dick does.
See, you remember it already. I know. All right. So, frig. Well, oh, far out. I actually need to get a drink. Can you give me 2 seconds, and I'm going to whip up and fill my drink bottle up and have a wee. Should I give you some thinking music? Are you happy to chitty chat? Can you read that off the screen or not?
Let's see. No, let me see if I can blow the screen up a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger. It might help.
This
Now I
is
can.
the
A little bit.
This is the toolkit for what is supposed to happen for a sexual assault exam, basically. What they are required to do.
They're required to. Oh, we need to, because I got an issue with something. So
That's why I started looking at this.
yeah.
Yes. Because there is things that the law enforcement are mandated to do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Give me 2 shakes, and if you can read that, Ty, you can start going through it if it's not too small for you.
It's not too small. Well, you want me to read it?
If you want, yeah. Well, I'll
Okay.
just quickly. I'll be 2 seconds.
So, examination requirements, emergency care examination services for victims of sexual offenses, examination expenses paid by Kentucky Claims Commission, reporting to law enforcement, examination samples as evidence. 1. Where a person has been determined to be in need of emergency care by any person with admitting authority, no such person shall be denied admission by reason only of his or her inability to pay for services to be rendered by the hospital. Every hospital of the state which offers emergency services shall provide that a physician, a sexual assault nurse examiner, who shall be a registered nurse licensed in the Commonwealth and credentialed by the Kentucky Board of Nursing as provided, or other qualified medical professional as defined by administrative regulation.
So a nurse or a doctor, right?
Yeah, has to
Okay.
be, a physician and a nurse.
Okay.
So a doctor and a nurse. And it says that the Sexual Assault Response Team Advisory Committee is available on call 24 hours a day for examinations of people who need treatment for sexual offenses.
Right.
So an exam provided in accordance with this section of a victim of sexual offense may be performed in a sexual assault examination facility as defined. An examination under this section shall apply only to an examination of a victim. Okay. The physician, I can't scroll it down.
Nope.
Yes, I can. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Got it. Oh, an examination provided in accordance with this section of a victim of sexual offense may be performed in a sexual assault examination facility. We just read that one, didn't we? Okay. The physician, sexual assault nurse examiner, or other qualified medical professional acting under a statewide medical forensic protocol, which shall be developed by the Justice and Public Safety Cabinet in consultation with the Sexual Assault Response Team Advisory Committee and I don't know that word, promulgated by the Secretary of Justice and prosecuting attorney, and with the consent of the victim or upon the request of the victim, examine such a person for the purposes of providing basic medical care relating to the incident and gathering samples that may be used as physical evidence. This exam shall include, but not limited to, basic treatment and sample gathering services and lab tests as appropriate, and each victim shall be informed of available services for treatment of sexually transmitted diseases. And it says that it shall not include abortion counseling or referral information.
Really?
So,
okay.
Okay. There's some people pushing for the death penalty for that.
Yeah.
For abortions, but they won't punish the men who rape these girls.
Right.
I just can't get my fucking head around it. Like, I'm not pro-abortion. I'm pro-choice.
Right.
Like,
But
I
in
believe
some
that there are
circumstances,
instances that it's not safe to bring a baby into this world. I understand.
right. Under some circumstances, if you've got a 9, 10, 11-year-old
Right.
child
That
and it's
child should not be
incest
forced to give birth to a baby.
to a
Under
baby,
any
right.
circumstances. That's just fucking sick and twisted to think that you had the right to force that child to give birth.
But I think with age, they have certain like special circumstances. Maybe I hope they
No,
do.
they don't.
They don't. Oh my
They-
gosh.
They forced a 10-year-old in Georgia to give birth just recently, and it
I
literally
rem-
physically ripped her body apart. She died
but-
giving birth. Died on the table.
Stepdad, wasn't he the father?
Yeah.
It was the stepdad. Yeah.
I think so. Now there was another one that that the little girl died, and they made her dead body lay there on life support and then cut the baby out of her.
Oh
And
my
she was
God.
only like 11. This was a couple years ago.
Yeah. It's so wrong on
It
so
is.
many levels.
It is.
So
It's
many
so
levels.
fucking wrong on so many levels. Like,
Because a child carries, and this is wrong, but this is just how their little minds work. But they carry guilt. Like, everybody's mad at me. It's my fault. I shouldn't have said anything. You have all them conflicting feelings. But could you imagine? God love them, being pregnant on top of it.
Yeah.
Getting pregnant by your family member, and I don't know. This world, man. Ooh. I don't know.
so,
I seen a video the other day talking about Kentucky's laws. about children,
Mhm.
and they said that they have, I think I sent it to you too, that they have more laws about animals,
Yeah.
abuse of
So
animals.
what the fuck are the point of these laws whenever you got Patrick Little that gets 6 months and no jail time for what he did? What's the fucking point?
Right?
What's the fucking point of having capital punishment for people who fuck children?
And he did what
If
his
nobody
offense-
ever gets convicted of it.
right. His offense was capital. The child was
Yeah.
under 12. Jody
And-
just read it.
But they just
And-
now made that law, though. They just made
Well,
that capital offense.
I mean, still though,
But
Tom,
still,
the
yeah,
common
that's what I'm saying,
sense,
though. Yeah,
know.
like, what's the fucking point in having it if they're never even going to see the inside of a courtroom
or the jail,
or the jail? Right.
But then you've got people that drive on a
Then
suspended
you got people who
license.
are victims of men like this that grow up and go to jail later on and get beat up for being a victim as a child.
There
like
you
me.
go. There you go. Or you've got people that in the county driving on a suspended license that gets picked
Right.
up and
Get-
threw in jail for
Going and
3
get put in
months.
jail for months on end. Can't even
Yep.
get a fucking court date.
Can't get a date, can't get a charge, can't get nothing. You just sitting there,
Yep.
not knowing when you're going to get out, and your time don't count for anything.
Nope. I'm on
Because you're
parole
not
till
technically-
2099.
Right. They have control of your whole life until 2099. They can come in and say, we're going to
What's
go
the
through your
fucking
house.
point in sex laws? What's the fucking point in pedophilia laws if they don't fucking enforce them?
Right. Right.
They arrest the victims and the women instead.
Or they shame them.
Yeah.
They publicly shame them to the point that any other victim will go, I'm not going through that. I'm
Mhm.
not going to be put on display like that. And then they don't come forward and these people get away with it.
Because they're going to get away with it anyway. They think.
So, I mean, but cases like his and there's other cases in our county. I'm kind of digging through them that, got very little jail time, and
If
for
any at
crimes
all.
that they should have not seen daylight again.
Well, it's like the man that fucking done Sarah when she was a little girl
Yep.
is on the run right now for leaving his DNA inside of another child just recently. He never should have been on the street to begin with. But how many years has that been? Sarah's how old now? Can you imagine how many babies he's left his DNA in since? Between Sarah and this precious one?
He had
It's
assaulted.
been at least, 10, 15 years.
Oh, it's been longer than
And
that.
longer than that. But,
She was
I mean, that's what I'm
11.
saying. If he did it then, and then he just
well,
did it again,
And Sarah
how
wasn't
many
the first.
kids do you think he's done like that in the fucking 15 years in between?
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
my
And,
fucking point.
and see,
That's my
Sarah,
fucking point.
Sarah was not his
It's
first
not
victim.
like they just fucking Billy Brown raped me and then never touched another little girl.
Exactly.
That's what the fucking point is. I don't know what's wrong with you people. I
Right.
just can't fucking understand it. Not
The
you,
one-
Randy. You know what I mean. The
No,
ones that
Sarah-
fucking think that, oh, well, it was just a mistake. No, the fuck it ain't. No,
No.
the fuck it ain't. Just a fucking mistake to touch a child.
Not at all. Sarah went through a lot. And so to, open her Facebook and there is a wanted thing for him,
And then
she's
to
like,
find out where yeah.
and she was crying and felt guilty because she felt like she didn't do enough to stop him. And I said, baby, you were 11. There was nothing, the system failed you, not
Yep.
you failed.
Yep.
And so now this man's on the loose. And like you said, that Sarah wasn't his first victim, but the
No.
little girls were scared and wouldn't come forward. Sarah was the only one that would come forward. And, now his attorney is our judge. What sense does that make?
Yeah. Yeah.
The point I was making the other day when I was
The attorney on his case,
That got him
on
away.
Sarah's case, on Sarah's child abuse case, when she was 11 years old, the man that raped her, the judge that is presiding over whether Sarah gets her kids or sees her kids or
It's
not
Trump.
was the defense attorney on that case.
Yes.
Was his attorney.
Yes.
Even
I meant to follow that up actually. That was
And she told me, she said, standing in front of him, I feel so little. And like she's got this intimidation. Well, you're supposed to have respect for him, but still, she has this anxiety, that no matter what she says, he's not going to believe anything she says anyway. He's not going to. So
did her attacker get found guilty? Was he?
Oh no, he got away with it.
Oh.
And like Ty said, he's been. See, Sarah's what, 27, 26, 27, 28, 20, somewhere. So for 15 plus years, he's been roaming around, and he did it again, which we figured he's been doing it this whole time.
What's his name?
Michael Nichols. I can send you the
yes, please.
The what do you call it? The post where
there's a post in a news article too, I think.
Yes, that they actually had DNA evidence that it is him, and he is on the run.
I was told yesterday, a little credible bird told me that his crimes destroyed DNA evidence in a particular crime in Pike County.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That now what?
Well, there was an investigation into some crime in Pike County, and Mickey was one of the people that was investigating, and yeah, DNA evidence went missing.
I believe it.
Never
That
prosecuted.
surprised me.
Does not surprise me not one bit.
Don't surprise me a bit.
Like I said, with this whole thing, what happened was just wrong. But you've got people that have done both of them. Both of them has done things, that they shouldn't have done, or looked the other way or whatever. Yeah. And
he wasn't a pervert, but he was a financial beneficiary for sure.
It was the lesser of the two evils.
But he was not a queen.
Benefiting still. He was benefiting. Yeah, for absolute sure.
Jody, I just sent it to you on
Messenger.
Facebook.
Yep.
And Kyle send it to you too. That way.
So this is the
man that raped Sarah when she was 11 years old. Well, no, she was 10 actually.
Tell her where his last known location is.
Yes, Somerset.
Don't know where they're at. That's where he was last seen.
Yep. It says it in the thing. He could have been stopped 15 years ago.
All right, hang on. Tanya sent me.
And I have to say, I will give Bert Sloan credit for this. He stood by Sarah through the whole entire thing. He was support for us. He was. I couldn't have got through it without him. Honestly, he was wonderful. So that's why I'm so very disappointed with other things that has happened, because like I said, these people, you have the hope that they're doing the good thing, the right thing. And so when you find out they're not, it's like crushing. It's like, oh man, this ain't ever going to end. This ain't ever going to stop.
Hang on. I just got a message from Sabrina.
Ty, her trial is back on. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah. I told her.
Oh.
I'll be awake. the next few hours. All right. Yes, it's back on. Now, Lee actually just messaged me as well. He is about to catch his plane, so he is on track for being there at lunchtime tomorrow. And he's keen to get some interviews in Sunday and Monday. So anyone that wants to speak to him, I thought we could maybe even try Chris Triplett. Do you reckon he would be
Jen's,
yeah.
I haven't
don't
been
know
able
where-
to get a hold of him. I don't know.
I don't know where he's at.
I don't know where he's at.
He's kind of just
Or how to contact him.
disappeared.
He doesn't
Didn't he
answer me on
message you,
Messenger.
Didn't you
That
message
was
him?
when, almost a year ago?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
What about if we put something on Facebook? Maybe if anyone's interested, just get it out there. Yeah, because
I
he's
think
there. We may as well make
there's
use of
some
him.
people planning to go and like protest and stuff too, or wanting to.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get that up
We're
as well.
trying to
Yeah.
get organized, I think, and figure out. what
Can
to
we
do.
include like if we? I'll make up a thing tonight. I'll do a like a pamphlet thing that will say, you know, where it is, when it is, what to do.
I need to figure out how to get down there and to stay all night with Brandy.
I should
doing
have
a
just
truck
brought
stop.
you with me. I should have just
I
brought you
Jessica would
with
have died
me.
if I'd have stayed all week though.
Well, it's for 4 days.
Yeah. I probably won't be able to stay the whole time, maybe 2 days.
Your truck not working still.
No, I still ain't got my Jeep running. Our truck uses too much in gas. It costs $30 to go to Whitesburg and back. That's 7 miles.
Yeah.
So I asked him if he could possibly borrow a car from somebody, but there should be enough people going. I ought to be able to carpool with somebody and catch a ride down, and then yeah.
So
we'll
are
figure it out.
you like trying to get people on Facebook and TikTok and like what do I need to cover? That's basically what I'm trying to work out.
I haven't put anything out public. I was leaving that up to her whether she wanted to do that or not, because it's not. But some of
Sabrina?
the people
I've asked her.
are
Ask
Yeah,
Sabrina.
some of the people that like have been protesting and stuff already, or like like organizing and trying to help with the whole movement.
Oh,
Like,
is there
doing
someone already
other
doing
things
that?
or talking about wanting to come and do a protest there outside the courthouse?
Yeah. Do you want to put them in touch with me?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, we got a couple of them that's planning on
Yeah.
coming on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're going to meet you and stuff. Yeah, it's just not
Yep.
been able to happen yet. For
Because it's what we've got there tomorrow. So he wants to try and fill up as much of his time with as much information as he can get, basically. He may as well. So he's got all Sunday afternoon and all day Monday because it'll be jury selection. And
I
then
know
it starts.
Savannah. I know Savannah wants to talk to him.
So what I've done, I've put hang on. I've created like a form.
And she actually has like evidence, so
That's what he needs. That's what he needs.
Mhm.
I've put made a form up that you can just click the link, and it's a form that tries to allocate when you're free and when he's not. So I'm not doubling up on appointments and shit. You know what I mean? So he's not inundated with 10 people at once, because he's actually going to set up a little recording studio where you can actually sit down one-on-one and have a quiet chat with him. Yeah.
well, and two, I'll kind of explain too, with like when we get somebody that wants to talk.
Yep.
To explain, it's not that we're being pushy or insistent, like you have to go to this person,
Yeah.
because if you don't go, then you might not ever get to talk to them. You know what I mean? Like some people
Perfect
may be like,
opportunity.
I'm ready to talk, and then you may go 3 months and not hear from them again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if you don't get it,
Yes.
kind of in their time, it's a whole, our culture's weird.
Yeah, that's right. And what I did with the form too was I said, what kind of interview would you like? Do you want to just basically sit down and introduce yourself and get a feel for him? Do you want to actually record something? What do you, like? I've actually listed what sort of time and what sort of things that they can select on there, so they don't have to go in there and do an interview. Do you know what I mean? Like a full-on sit-down recording thing. You don't have to do any of that. There's no pressure at all. But the option is there if you want it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
he's got free time, and it's the perfect time. It's ideal because we can keep that momentum going. The more people that he interviews now, he can prep those videos and have them roll out for weeks after this to
Right.
keep it going.
And if anyone's listening, I mean, like I like Lee. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He listens. He's
Got in a lot of trouble.
you know he's sticking himself out there really
He
you
is,
know
absolutely.
out for us. And so
Cancelled his
I
flights
guess I'm
yesterday.
endorsing him. I guess
Yeah.
I'm saying I endorse him. Like
Absolutely.
if I'm comfortable to talk with him, then
He's really
Yeah.
easy to talk with.
He cancelled his flights, and the second I told him, he said, "Okay, right, well, I'll just drive down." When he heard that it had been rated back on, he was going to drive down 2 days. 2
right.
days.
Yeah.
But his wife
He's
was able to get
definitely
back.
invested in
Correct.
getting the full story and
And he will
helping us tell
represent
it in a
And
way
he
right
knows-
way
that,
and not in
that
a,
represents someone's harmed, not the
The
other way
story.
around. Yes.
so if
Right.
you can sit down with him and talk, it's your story, your
Right.
words. You cannot fuck with that. Yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty amazing.
Yeah. And he won't sensationalize it or anything like that.
No.
No, he's
Oh,
been
yeah.
very respectful. He's been
And I don't-
very
I don't want to
respectful is not even the right word, I don't think. Like, but he's handled my trauma in a way that not many people can. Not many men
You
can.
do on the same level.
There's not many men that I can sit down and have a whole conversation about the things that have happened to me.
Yep.
But I can do that with him and do it openly and honestly and without embarrassment or shame or without feeling fucked up about it. Like I feel
Yep.
like I can trust him with the information. He's not going to use it to harm me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
So that goes a long way. Like, so I think that's a little beyond respect. That's a little bit
Yeah.
more than just
Yeah.
respect.
But
But
if you wanted to say and sit down and have your story told, but Jay, look, I don't really want you to do anything with it just yet. Just hold on to it, yeah?
yeah, that too. Like, yeah, I want to tell somebody, but I'm not ready to have it shared. That's fine too. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Get it off you. It's for you, really.
Because
You know?
paying for
Well,
the
he has wonderful contacts and connections that
does.
it
Does.
has
Yeah.
as
Even
enabled.
like
Resources and
Cash Patel
yeah.
is in London. Did you know that, Brandy?
Huh?
Cash Patel is in London, Kentucky,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I saw that. I'm not sure if I trust him or not either.
No. Oh, he says
That's
that
all
it's for
poorly.
it says
Yeah.
that it's for a non-public discussion on rural crime or some shit. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what we're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about.
got something to do with the Doug Harless investigation about how the police went in, kicked his door in, and killed him over at Weed
He
Eater.
said he had no idea about that case. He said he didn't
How?
read the letter.
Uh-huh.
He's sure that they mailed the letter, and he's sure that he probably got it, but he didn't read it or something. I read it this morning, and I thought, oh my gosh. So, I mean, he could have looked at the case like flying down, just at least had some idea of what you're even going to be talking about,
Yeah.
you know?
It's just a
Right.
coincidence. I thought that it was in London, Kentucky. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah, that's where Doug Harless was killed at too. That's where his home
Well,
was.
the Fed just rolled in too. What?
All
a week
those
ago?
federal buildings and stuff are down there too. You got all the federal courthouses.
Yep.
What are those, Brandy? Like when you go down Main Street and it looks almost like you're stepping into a street in Washington, where they've got all those big grand buildings and stuff.
Yeah, they've
Like
got
for
like
the
a
feds-
federal
the feds.
courthouse.
That's where the feds are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a federal courthouse, and then they've got a county courthouse. So you got two courthouses, two different,
Also, the
Beautiful
federal
little city.
buildings are in London, are they?
Huh?
What?
The federal buildings are in London, are they?
Yes.
So it's not that unusual then.
There's other cities, I think, there's federal buildings like all across the state,
There
but
was one. We
London
got one
has
in
a
Pike
particular
County.
concentration of them that are like all back to back. There's like a Supreme Court building, and I don't even know what all. There's like 3 or 4 of them that sit side by side, or like right across from each other.
And then the rest of the buildings are lawyers. Most of the
then
lawyers
the rest
are
are
in London.
attorneys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the form thing, it's got basically his free time listed on it so that you can pick which one is more appropriate for you. So I'm not double booking people, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's linked in the description box. I've put the link in there and it's on the screen now. But it should be an easy fucking fill and flick it straight back to me and I'll. Hey? What?
I said easy peasy.
Yeah. That's the whole fucking the whole thing, the whole idea. Are you able to get down there tomorrow, Brandy, or not? Yourself?
Tomorrow
Afternoon?
I
Brandon's
don't know.
just a few minutes away from there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, so
London-
she don't need to go the day before, is what my point is. Tomorrow's the
Uh,
first, ain't it?
No, it's the 3rd. So he's got all afternoon
Tomorrow is not the 3rd. Tomorrow,
No,
today
tomorrow's
is
Sunday.
the 28th.
Tomorrow's the 1st, and he's there from lunchtime on the 1st, and then the trial doesn't start till the 3rd, which is Tuesday. So he's got all
Right,
day Monday
okay.
as well, which he's allowed days on
That's
either
where I
side.
was confused. I was like, wait a minute.
No.
I'm off some days.
He's
What's
allowed
going
extra
on?
days on either side to accommodate anyone who wants to come speak to him. And any documents, like any stuff, any evidence that you've got, the more the better, because that's his forte. That's what he does.
Oh, so he'll be in London.
He'll be in London from 12 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, I
So-
can probably work something out to go.
He wants something about 2 o'clock. Let him settle in. I can have something to eat, and yeah, anytime from 2. Just
Okay.
just let me know, like text me or whatever, so I can put it in and not double book anyone.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to talk to the kids and see what time they work and everything right now because we're working on one vehicle. All of us is we've got one in the garage, so we're kind of.
Are you going to truck everyone down? Was that still your plan, that you were going to get everyone in on the Monday night?
Anybody that would, like I said, anybody that our friends or that want to,
Your address out, but they know how to contact you.
yeah, just get a hold of me.
Tell them on
And-
Facebook.
We can do that. We can figure out a way to, we can get together here, and kind of go,
Yep.
or if somebody needs, say you can't afford a room or you have to, they can.
I'll put together like a little brochure thing that says, okay, anyone interested? This is when it is. This is what's happening. If you want to catch up with Brandy, contact her on Messenger. Yep. Cool.
Yeah.
Done.
That
And I'll
way-
send that to you so that you can distribute it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Shit out. Done. All right. I wanted to get to this, where is it? Each victim shall have the right to determine whether a report or other notification shall be made to law enforcement. So the choice is on the victim, whether they report it or not. Except where reporting of abuse and neglect of a child or a vulnerable adult. What's the definition?
Ain't
What's
that funny? But if you go to the doctor because you're sick or something and you've got drugs in your system, the doctor will drug test you and then call the cops on you to report you. So that's
still have
not up
rights.
to the person, but the hospital ain't going to just report a rape.
They don't. I don't know.
That has to be left up to the victim to make that decision, though, to report it.
Sure. I have to look at the mandatory reporting.
I just found that.
I just thought with mandated reporters, you have to.
I thought
Right.
so too.
What about
sorry.
mandated reporting? Where is
Yeah.
that? Because that's
Yeah.
a thing.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
But you go in, they'll call social services and have them come remove your children.
So
from
No
an illegal
check.
drug test. You know what I mean? Like they'll report that shit,
Yes.
but they don't want to report a fucking sexual assault without the victim saying no,
See,
report it.
I've
That
always
don't make
thought that
sense.
was a HIPAA violation because of, you would have nurses in the
They have a
ER.
duty of care to you, regardless. They have a duty of care, and I'm not sure what the laws are. That's why I'm reading this. But most people, if it's a child, it's mandatory reporting.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, but the victim has that right to determine whether or not a report is generated to law enforcement, and no victim shall be denied an examination because they choose not to file a police report. Okay? They're still entitled to that examination because they may decide down the track that they want to follow that up.
Correct.
Yeah?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And you need
It
to
might
have
happen
that
again that they need it
Correct.
on record. Yeah.
correct.
Lots
Now,
of
also, I
instances
want to
there where
look
that would
up-
be useful.
The other thing I wanted to look up was the responsibility of law enforcement on obtaining a sample from the accused.
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
Okay.
Because there's no point saying, oh, yes, he's cooperating. Cooperating with what, motherfucker? Yeah? His hand? No, not good enough.
The women are put through a very violating exam, and the burden of proof is upon her. It's like it's yeah.
That's why I'm trying to read these and understand them so I can say, no, that's not on. Upon receipt of a completed claim form supplied by the board, so they have to use special documentation for a forensic sexual assault examination. Okay. I think it's called a SAFE, is it? Sexual assault
Yes.
examination. Yeah. Or related services that are within the scope of practice of the respective provider. So she was in the hospital. Performed no more than 12. Oh, hello, Felix. Scared the shit out of me. Where is it? It's prior to submission of the form. The board shall reimburse the hospital.
Shit. Sorry. I was trying to click my screen. Sorry, Jody.
No, that's all right. You can still hear us all. I just got to put you back up. Hang on. No, you're still up.
So I can see what you were reading, and
You're still all under there, but I just got to click on. Where is it? That one.
see,
There you
why
go.
is it won't let me click it. There it is. No. There we go. I had to switch to my phone. My computer battery died, so I couldn't see the screen good. I was trying to make it bigger so I could see it. Sorry.
Oh, good. Oh my God. Got a cat in my face. I had to hide the cat food because my big white cat is a pig, and he's got no, because of his brain injury, he's got no concept of being full, and he can't tolerate the dry food, which I've got two cats that prefer the dry, and I give him the other two the wet. Well, they all get the wet, but one of them anyway. So he's so obsessed. Once he's had his wet food, he's back in an hour later and he's eating the dry food, but he can't tolerate it, so he throws it up, and he drives me insane. So he'll have his meal. An hour later, I'll hear crunch, 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 and I'll look at him and I'll go, and the next thing I hear this, and I'll fuck, and then sure as shit, he's back at the bowl again. So I put it up on the desk. That's why Felix is up here, sitting on my fucking mouse pad. All right. All right. An independent investigation by the Kentucky Claims Commission shall not be required for payment of claims under this section. No charge shall be made to the victim for sexual assault examinations by the hospital, the sexual assault examination facility, the physician, the pharmacist, the health department, the sexual assault nurse, or qualified medical professionals, the victim's insurance carrier, or the Commonwealth. So no one charges them. No one. No charge. Okay? Each victim shall have the right to determine whether a report. I've read that bit. Okay. If the victim chooses to report to law enforcement, the hospital shall notify law enforcement within 24 hours. All samples collected during an exam where the victim has chosen not to immediately report to law enforcement shall be stored, released, and destroyed if appropriate in accordance with the regulations. They would have to keep it for a minimum mandatory time, I would assume. Facilities collecting the samples must provide the secure storage. No hospital or sexual assault examination facility or designated storage facility shall be liable for destruction of samples after the required. Yeah, all right. Medical protocol. Okay. The administrative regulation establishes the procedures to be followed by medical staff before, during, and after the examination of a victim of a sexual assault. So this is what should happen as far as the regulations go. This regulation is currently being updated. Of course, it is. The definition of a basic treatment means that basic medical care provided to victims of sexual assault or sexual offences, including medical screening, an examination for medical injuries, treatment for sexually transmitted infections, and, if appropriate, delivery of a post-exposure HIV prophylaxis. Designated storage facility means the examination facility. Yeah. Okay, that's exactly definitions. Now, there is a rape crisis centre advocate, apparently, which is like a victim advocate, and they are qualified under that particular law, and they work with volunteers for rape crisis centre regulated by the Cabinet for Health and Family Services.
That all sounds good on paper, but I don't think they do none of this.
No, they're not held accountable. That's the problem. No one's held them accountable. No one's questioned it. Everyone's just gone, well, that's how it's always been. And now is the time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I don't, what else? What more can you do than shoot a judge, really, to get attention? You get me?
Right.
I know that sounds crass, but that's, yeah, may as well fucking run with it, I reckon. It's
I mean, you know, it's like, it's almost, you know, when it happened, you know, everybody's like, oh, this is historical. This has never happened before, you know. But then when you start getting into the reasons why it happened, nobody wants to talk about it.
Don't you remember that there was wasn't there a judge shot in the Letcher County fucking courthouse before, back in the day?
1930, yes. Yes.
Okay, I thought so. Like, this is not like a brand new thing. That's not the first time. Not even the first time it's ever happened here.
Right.
In our courthouse. That's not the first judge shot in our courthouse.
No, that was the sheriff, I think it was shot.
Or that's not the first incident like this, I guess. Better way to put that. Yeah. I'd like to do a deep dive into that, like the history of what happened back then, into that time. Yeah.
Got the link to that somewhere.
Maybe that's something. Maybe that's something I should dig around.
Yeah,
you can do that on your page.
Yeah,
that'd be a good one on your page, Brandy. Maybe.
I'm the historian. I like history.
You're a walking encyclopedia. All right. So, limited mandatory reporting to the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. If the victim is less than 18 years old, assess whether the victim may be an abused, neglected, or dependent child as defined in KRS 6. Okay, I need to copy that. In cases of suspected child abuse, neglect, or dependency, medical personnel shall immediately report the incident to the Cabinet for Health and Family Services. That might be worth a phone call. Cabinet for Health and Family Services. A local or state law enforcement agency, well, you're fucking shit out of luck there. Or the Commonwealth Attorney, you shit out of luck there. Or the County Attorney, you shit out of fucking luck there.
Yep.
Go to the Cabinet of Health and Family Services. Okay. Because I think you can get an advocate to speak on their behalf as well. I do want to check on that law number. I want to read that. So that was if they're under 18. There could be a referral to the Regional Children's Advocacy Centre or other specialised treatment facility that is in the best interest of the child. That can be done by that Cabinet of Health and Family Services. All right. If the victim is 18 or over, the examination facility shall not contact law enforcement or release any information. They're an adult, obviously. Determine whether the mandatory reporting, law addressing, or abuse of a vulnerable adult applies. Okay, so, but that's very subjective. Yeah, that's loose. That's shit. No, they didn't look like, they didn't have any black eyes, so I didn't think I had to report it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Off. Assess whether the victim may be an adult. Right, where is that? Optional reporting to law enforcement. Okay. So this is still the responsibility of the assessing facility, the hospital. Optional reporting to law enforcement. Ask the victim whether she or he wants to report the incident to law enforcement. If the victim chooses to report the incident to law enforcement, obtain their consent for treatment and authorization for release of information, and then contact law enforcement. If they choose not to report to law enforcement, the information or samples shall not be released to law enforcement unless the victim has specifically authorized the release. Inform the victim that all the statements made during the interview and the sample collection process to the physicians, nurses, and other hospital personnel or law enforcement officers are not privileged and may be disclosed. Okay. Really? Provide a detailed explanation of the forensic medical examination. You know you can request all these documents. They're from the hospital. They'll be in their notes. They have to write that. Not only do they have to write the official forms, but they also have to be documented within that patient's medical history, which is in the hospital, like in their file, which you can access. You have, or the next of kin can request. They're all public. You just need to ask for them. They won't offer them to you. And that will be all the nursing notes, like what happened when they turned up. They'll write it word for word, what they saw, what they found, regardless of an assessment being done. There's lots of other things that may be in there that you can use as evidence as well. Yeah?
Yeah.
Things like bruises, yeah, thumb bruises, or what you observed as whatever. What they observed, they have to write it down.
And you
Both
said that the next of kin can request that.
Yeah, well, a legal guardian, parent,
Legal guardian. Okay. Yeah.
yes. I would think the parents would be able to do that.
Well, you think about it though. If let's just say some of the parents, what if the kid is in
Like,
foster
what
care?
about?
You know what I mean? Like, or not?
Yep.
The parents' rights have been took wrongfully.
Yes.
Like,
Okay.
how we talk about how the women CPS, are taking the kids, and it's
I'm right where you are. I would then, and I know that social services had been involved, but you could request. See, if you're aware of these laws at the time, you can demand at the hospital that further investigation happens, and they have to do it. They've got a duty of care of that child. If you think that child has a history of being abused, then that has to be reported then and there. They can't release them.
right.
If the parent
That's what I
or the
thought.
guardian, if the allocated
That's what I
guardian,
thought.
yes, if the guardian that's in charge of them now refuses to,
So imagine my
Override.
surprise whenever Brandy called and said they sent them back.
yeah,
Like my fucking jaw hit the floor. I was like, they did what?
yes,